When it's all said and done, will I see you again? If I knew, would it even relieve the pain? If I don't, will I learn not to feel in vain? If I do, will I learn to be me again? Hi guys, it's KINO. Welcome to another video. So in today's Pick a Card reading, we are going to be finding out all about your next serious relationship. And today's reading is going to be a very thorough one. Not only do we have a detailed reading here on YouTube, but there's also going to be an extended reading today so that we can go deep and get as many traits as possible about your partner and as much information as possible about your relationship together and your journey towards each other. And I'm gonna explain more specifically what exactly we're going to be looking at in this reading, both the YouTube reading and extended reading, after you have chosen your group. But for now, let's take a look at your options. So there are 4 readings for you guys to choose from today, and each reading has a different tarot deck as well as a different crystal heart to help you pick. This is what they look like from the back, but in just a second, I'm going to show you a card from each deck so that you can also see what the front artwork looks like. And today, I decided to just shuffle a deck and see which card came out, and we got the 7 of Pentacles. So that is the card that I'm going to be showing you, which interestingly is a card that encourages us to be patient and reminds us that good things really do come to those who wait. And with a little bit of patience, we can see all of the seeds of our intentions bearing fruit. So that might be a relevant message for the collective today as you manifest your next relationship. So you could be drawn to a few different things. You might be drawn to the heart, you might be drawn to the back artwork, the front artwork. If you feel drawn to more than one option, that's totally fine, and you are very welcome to watch more than one reading. There might be messages for you in multiple groups today, so please don't feel the need to limit yourself. But without further ado, let's take a close-up look at each of your options. So for option number 1, we have this Trolleite heart, and we have the Tarot Disassembled deck, and this is the 7 of Pentacles. For option number 2, we have this Druzy Agate heart, we have the Gentle Heart Tarot, and this is the 7 of Pentacles. For option number 3, we have this purple Fluorite heart, and we have this purple Rider-Waite deck, and this is the 7 of Pentacles. And for option number 4, we have this Aventurine heart, and we have the Muse Tarot, and this is the 7 of Pentacles. Okay, so just in case you need more time to pick your reading, these are all of the options laid out side by side so that you can compare them and see which one or ones are calling to you the most. As always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the Trolleite heart and the Tarot Disassembled deck, this is going to be a reading all about your next serious relationship. So like I mentioned in the intro, I want to start off by just showing you guys the list of what we are going to be looking at in this reading. So here she is. We have a YouTube reading, which is this, what you're watching right now, as well as an extended reading. So here on YouTube, we're going to look at the main traits of your partner, which includes their personality, their appearance, their astrological placements. We're going to look at the energy of their 3D self as well as their higher self. We're going to look at their strengths and weaknesses, their career and hobbies, and then we're also going to see what your relationship is like and sort of do, I guess you could call it an energy check of your relationship. So what your energy is like in this relationship, what their energy is like in this relationship, and what you are like together. And then in the extended reading, we're going to see, where is your future partner right now? What are they doing? Are they ready for this union with you? and then how you will meet, or if you've already met this person, how you will ultimately get together. We're going to see relevant time frames, and then finally a message from your partner. So that is the whole menu for today. If that sounds good to you, sit back, relax. I forgot to turn on the AC, which is very important. Okay. So I kind of wanted to try something that's, I think I've done it like once before, maybe in a Patreon reading, but I have this tarot deck. It's the Moonchild Tarot, but I have divided it into major arcana, court cards, and minor arcana. So we're gonna pull one card from each of these piles, and these will be like the 3 pillars of your future partner's energy. You can think of this part of the reading as an energy check for you as well, like if this is your group. So if the person I'm describing here sounds like someone you would like to be with, then that is your sign that this is your group. If not, you might want to try another group, or maybe this is just not your reading today. But let's start off with a major arcana. Ooh, so we have Divine Wisdom for this group. This is kind of cool because that is an original major arcana of this deck. Okay, a court card for your person. We have the Queen of Cups. Okay, I'm seeing a pattern here. And for our minor arcana, oh my gosh, we have the 10 of Cups. All right, so there is a lot of water energy going on here. So it is very likely that your next partner is going to be a water sign, which is Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or they will have like a lot of water placements in their birth chart. Specifically, the 10 of Cups is Pisces energy. Even more specifically, it's Mars in Pisces, but I feel all water signs coming through pretty strongly. This Divine Wisdom card, I'm not sure if it has like a zodiac or an elemental association because it's not like a traditional card in tarot. But it definitely, if I had to place an element to this card, I would say water. And the reason for that is because water represents our soul, our intuition, our emotions, our psychic abilities. There's huge themes of water going on through this reading. So let's start off with this major arcana, which represents their higher self. It represents their soul. Right away, we know that this is someone who is a very old soul and who is a wise soul. And I actually think that even as a human, your future partner is highly spiritual. I felt that when the Queen of Cups came out, but also the fact that the Queen of Cups is directly looking at this Divine Wisdom card. This represents your future partner as a human, and they're looking directly at their soul, at their higher self. So this means that your future partner recognizes that they have a higher self, that they've had many, many lifetimes, that they have a spiritual purpose here on this earth, that they have divine spiritual connections here on this earth. Like, they're really tapped into their higher self. And I think this is not only a highly spiritual person, but a highly psychic person. And they definitely know that about themselves. They definitely recognize that about themselves. They may not necessarily like be in the spiritual community or like practice spiritual things, and they might not use like the lingo that is common in the spiritual community, you know, like, oh, I'm clairvoyant, or like, oh, I have a divine counterpart. They just kind of feel that something is going on with them, you know, like ever since I was a child, I've had prophetic dreams, or like I've always been able to read people's energy really well, or like I've always been able to see like colors around people, even if they don't like specifically know the labels of what they're experiencing. They know that they're experiencing something bigger than them. They know that they have a soul, that they have guides who are helping them, that there is a higher power, that there is a source, and they know that they have special abilities. And so if you guys really like identify with your spiritual side or want to explore that spiritual side of yourself more, this is going to be a really fun relationship, and also a very like eye-opening relationship, because you can share your experiences together and you can dive deeper into your spirituality together, which is awesome. And I think that, you know, with all of this intuition coming from this person, and likely you guys are highly intuitive as well, I do think that you would know if you'd met this person already. And when you do meet each other, you're gonna have like this deep, unshakable knowing that there's someone special in your life, and vice versa. I definitely think that there is a spiritual and psychic connection here that has been cultivated over many, many lifetimes, that is very deep. And one kind of key theme of your connection is that it flows quite easily. You never feel like you have to force anything. You never feel like you have to have control. It flows like a river. And when you are in this connection and when you're with this person, you just feel safe to let go and let the river take you wherever it wants to take you. You let the flow of life just pick you up and carry you in its current, because when you're together, you feel like, I'm safe, everything is going to be okay, life is taking us where we're meant to be. So it's like you're not struggling against the current, you're not fighting for control, you're not panicking, you just feel so calm and safe. I think this is an extremely soothing person to you. They have an extremely soothing energy about them. I would say that they have kind of a bluish aura, like a deep blue or an ocean blue. They could have like striking blue eyes as well. I feel like the color blue is significant to them. It could be their favorite color. But with this Queen of Cups here, another thing of their personality is that they're quite a gentle soul. I'm hearing like animal lover. They're a very gentle soul, and they're kind of like quiet or soft spoken. So either they don't talk a lot, or when they do talk, their voice is kind of soft. So they're not necessarily the most obvious person in a room or the loudest person in a room, but if you slow down and listen and really take in their energy, you will be mesmerized by them. They're like a rare beauty. And I think not everybody notices them because they kind of just stay over here doing their own thing. But those who do notice them will be completely entranced by them. They have this way of like commanding your attention and completely mesmerizing you without having to like be loud about it or without having to force it. It's just like an aura that they give off. They have this like quiet confidence about them. And they are confident yet humble at the same time. I feel like this person also has a pale complexion. They could be of any like skin color or any ethnicity, but I feel like their skin would be, or their complexion would be kind of on the lighter side. This might sound kind of weird because sometimes I've gotten comments that like it's weird that I talk about skin. Well, maybe one comment and it just like stuck with me, but I feel like they have really soft skin. I just have to say that. I feel like they have really soft skin. I feel like they have kind of a longer nose. They have long eyelashes. And it looks like they have darker hair. It's like a paler complexion, but darker hair. And I think that they have, this also sounds really weird, but like they have nice facial fat. Like, I guess like a roundish face or kind of a youthful face. Like they have plushy cheeks. I'm sorry, I'm describing this appearance so weird. And then with this thing around their forehead, they could wear hats or wear something that like covers their head or covers their hair, or they could have bangs that cover their forehead. I feel like this person is an effortless beauty. Like, they don't put that much effort into looking good, but they just naturally look very good because, again, it's just something that exudes out of them. They might wear a few accessories, but it would be, this is very specific, it's like a few pieces that are passed down from like their grandparents or their great grandparents. Like this, for example, it's like a ring from my mom and from my grandma, and I never take them off. And you know, I usually don't wear other accessories in my day-to-day life. So something like that. And I feel like when it comes to their wardrobe, they keep it pretty simple. They definitely don't have a problem like wearing the same clothes again and again. I feel like I don't know if it's minimalist, but they just have a simple vibe to them. If this is someone who wears makeup, they keep it simple, they keep it natural. I feel like this person has natural hair. Like, they don't usually iron it, or they don't usually like color it. They just kind of let it do its thing and it looks beautiful. Like, they really embrace their natural beauty. And also, something about them is that their confidence and self-love doesn't come from the outside, and it is not informed by trends, you know? So like, I don't know, let's say this person has, like we said, they had a longer nose, and then let's say like longer noses are a trend, like, or this certain body type is a trend and they have that body type. They're not gonna feel particularly good about that. And then if their body type goes out of style, they're not going to feel particularly bad about that. Because like the trends of society, or like whatever's going on outside of them, that doesn't inform their confidence, because it's something that they have cultivated from within, and probably something that they've cultivated over their lifetimes. And they have this confidence in abundance because they're so aligned with their higher self. Like, this is someone who really, really knows who they are. I'm also hearing this is someone who doesn't give their opinion unless someone asks them. They're not really the type to butt in and be like, oh, well, I think that's wrong, or oh, well, I think you should do that like this. They just kind of sit there and observe, and they're quiet. And if you're like, oh, what do you think, group number one's partner? Then they will give their honest opinion. Like, oh, well, if you ask me, I think blah, 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 blah. But they're not presumptuous, like, I don't know if that's the word, but just like sticking in their unsolicited opinion. They're like, if you ask me, I will tell you the truth. But if you don't ask me, I'll just mind my own business, you know? That kind of thing. And also something that's coming through is that you might be kind of surprised when you meet their family, because I feel like their family could be quite different from them. You know, they have this kind of soft-spoken, graceful, very grounded, humble kind of energy to them. And they might have a family that is kind of rowdy, or a family that is, you know, more like talkative, or more opinionated, or more like in your face or something like that. And you're like, wait, you came from this family? It's kind of like they're the quiet one, I guess. And with this flower here, I do feel like this is speaking to a sensitivity that they have. Like, there's something delicate about them. Like, they're very, very sentimental. Maybe this person is moved very easily. They could be, you know, brought to tears easily when they, you know, hear an emotional story, or like, you know, when something touching happens. They could also have sensitive skin. There's just skin messages coming through. I'm just gonna go with it. So like, maybe they have to be careful about their skincare, or like they get rashes easily. Like, they're just like delicate is kind of the way that is coming through. And that is not to say that they are weak. Absolutely not. They are not weak. They're just very like, they're like a fine china, fine china, or like fine pottery. They're like beautiful and elegant and refined and delicate, but it's something that effortlessly comes from them. It's not because like they dress super fancy. It's not because they show off. I think they're just like very well mannered, and they have this quiet confidence about them that is very, very attractive. So moving on now to the Ten of Cups. I love that we have this here. Like, if you can't tell already, this is such an incredibly kind and compassionate soul. And this is someone who is truly going to make you so, so happy. They will fulfill all of your emotional needs. They will fulfill your material needs. They will make you feel secure. I love this energy. I will say, I feel like it would take some time for you guys to really settle down together, because I read this Ten of Cups a little bit differently than other ones. You guys might know we normally see like there's a house in this card, and there's like kids, and the family's like, this is our home, happily ever after. But when I see this Ten of Cups, I'm like, these two people found each other and that's their happily ever after. And now they're like, okay, let's go travel, or like, let's go explore, let's go on an adventure. So it's like they're not quite settling down just yet. So, you know, you might get together with this person and then it's like it's a long time before you move in together, or it's a long time before you get married. Not because you're putting it off, but again, because you're just going with the flow, and like you'll do it when the time is right. I guess this feels more like the two of you are not in any rush to like slap a ring on there, or you're not in any rush to like shack up together. You're just like relaxed and you're just seeing where life takes you day to day. And I do think there's something about this relationship that's going to bring out a little bit of an adventurous spirit in both of you. You might travel a lot with this person, or just like go out to places that you've never been before. And I think that being in this relationship also inspires each of you to pursue your individual goals and your individual passions. And I do think this is one of those relationships where like you don't have to be like talking every second of every day. Like there might be periods where you're not communicating as much, or like you haven't seen each other in a while, because you're just not like, you're not stressed. It's like you're just off doing your own thing and getting lost in the moment, you know? Like, sorry I took so long to respond. I was sunbathing, or like I was walking in the ocean, or I was in the garden, you know? Like you're just enjoying life and you just trust each other to like go off and do your own things, is how I see it. So this is really, really beautiful energy. And I also think that this indicates that your future partner is really looking for a life partner. You know, they're looking for someone that they can be very intimate with and really open up and share their heart and share their life with. So, you know, they're looking for something serious. And I think that where they're at right now, they're like, I want to find my happily ever after. So now let's get into, I just saw 1919, by the way. Which is reminding me of the sun. So Leo energy could be significant as well. And Leo people could have like Cancer placements, like Cancer Venus, Cancer Mercury. So this person could be like a Leo with a lot of Cancer, or a Cancer with a lot of Leo. So now in the deck that you guys chose, we are going to see their career and hobbies, their, what was it? Let me look at the list. Their career and hobbies, and their strengths and weaknesses. Yes. So for their career, we have the High Priestess. So that's water energy again. For their hobbies, we have the Six of Cups, water energy again. Scorpio energy to be specific. For their strengths, we have the Two of Swords. For their weakness, we have the Four of Cups. And for just something they want to tell you, actually, never mind. I wanted to do bottom of the deck energy. Okay, let's just, forget that. Let's just do bottom of the deck. So we have the Two of Wands for just something that they want you to know about them. Okay. Yes. let's start off with this High Priestess card. So this is the card that represents their career. So for some of you guys, your future partner could actually be involved in something spiritual for their career. Like they could be a reader like me. They could be an astrologer. They could be an energy healer. Like they do something utilizing their spiritual gifts for a living. Also, professor is coming to my mind. Like a professor, they could do something that involves literature. They could do something that involves history, like studying ancient civilizations, or also like archaeology is coming to my mind, architecture. And the High Priestess, when you look at the image of the High Priestess, it's like there's someone sitting on this chair, and it's kind of this feeling of, well, maybe this is just how I see it, but like, will she let you into her palace, into her mysterious palace? Will she accept you? So I don't know, what would that even be? Like someone who approves, or what is it? Approves or declines things. The thing that's coming to my mind is like someone who would read like a patent literature and be like, yeah, this checks out, you can have your patent, or like, no, you can't have your patent, like you need to fix this. It's like they review documents, or they're like the person who screens applications. They're the person who, they like take submissions or applications and they like make a call. Maybe they like decide if you can get a loan or something. They're the one who says like, you pass, you don't, I approve of this, I don't approve of that. It's something like that. And with the High Priestess here, they could have a job that involves confidentiality as well. So they're not really allowed to talk about what they do. So like a therapist, for example, they cannot go around being like, hey, so my client Jessica, like blah, 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 blah. Or like an attorney, they can't go around blabbing what their clients tell them. So like there's some kind of confidentiality to their job, or there is some kind of secrecy to their job, or their job is kind of mysterious. Like no one really knows what they do, you know? Like not like they don't tell people what they do for a living, but it's like us average Joes, when we hear someone does this for a living, we're like, I don't really know what that entails. Like there's like a lot that goes on behind the scenes that we just don't see, and we don't know what it's like. It's like the life of someone who has this job is kind of mysterious, or like kind of a question mark for people who are not in the industry. And they could be in a job that kind of does have those industry secrets, or kind of has like stuff going on behind the scenes. That's not to say that it's sketchy, but it's just like there could be a lot of confidential stuff, or a lot of stuff that us regular people just don't understand. And like they kind of have to keep that under wraps. They could even be like, I don't know, maybe they work for like a TV show, and they're like, oh, we just finished filming season 6, but I can't tell you what happens because I'll get fired, you know, something like that. They kind of have to just like zip it, you know? But with the pomegranate here, this is a sign of abundance. So your future partner definitely does get paid quite well in the job that they do. So moving on to their hobbies, we have the 6 of Cups. And this is so funny because I used gardening as an example before, and like as soon as I saw this card, I thought of gardening, because there's literally flower pots in this card, and there's also a house in it. So I feel like this person, while they do like adventuring when it's time to adventure, I think that in their everyday life, they prefer to just be a homebody, and they prefer to kind of keep to themselves. And I think a lot of their hobbies are things that they can do around the house. So gardening is the first thing that came to my mind, whether that is flower gardens or vegetable gardens, or this person could enjoy doing yard work. Like, I don't know, maybe it clears their mind or something. Maybe they enjoy like mowing the lawn and raking leaves and things like that. I think this person enjoys like doing work outside, or they enjoy like being one with the earth, you know, like being in the soil and like touching grass and stuff like that. So yeah, they could also have houseplants that they like taking care of and just enjoy doing things around the house. I feel like this is someone who would enjoy like cooking and would enjoy cleaning, or maybe they enjoy like DIY projects in the house. Maybe they like building cabinets, or I don't know, maybe they like renovating. It's like they like doing things with houses or doing things in the house. I think they're very like DIY kind of person. So like if something's broken around the house, they'll like figure out if they can fix it on their own, or if they want to like renovate or change the vibe, they'll figure out how they can do that on their own. I think this person, they would find it more fun like to try to make something in the kitchen rather than just like ordering it in, you know. They want to like, ooh, let's see if we can make this, that will be fun. Because doing these things slowly around the house, it's just a nice way to like bond. So if you're into that kind of stuff too, I feel like they would like to just spend like a long time like cooking with you, maybe like drinking wine if that's your thing, or like listening to music and just like talking and making like an event out of it, you know? Like I feel like with all this water energy, this person likes to do things slowly and likes to do things mindfully. They're not the person who's like, go, 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 like these are my tasks for the day and we just have to get through them. They're not like, I have to make dinner and get it on the table at 6:45 sharp and then eat it so that quickly so that I can do this next thing. They want to like savor. They want to savor every moment. I also think that this person has very good aesthetic taste. Yeah. And with the 6 of Cups here and with the 10 of Cups as well, like this is a sign of, you know, family and children. So this could be someone who wants to have children with you, or they have children in their life who are very, very important to them. Like they could have, you know, a niece, nephew, or even grandchildren, like, because there's people of all ages who watch these readings. Or like they could have a sibling who's much younger than them, but I just feel like there's very significant children in their life, and that is being brought up. But yeah, this 6 of Cups here, this is the sun in Scorpio. So Scorpio suns could be in here as well. With the 2 of Swords, yeah, let's just look at the other zodiac placements. We have a Libra moon, Cancer moon, and Aries Mars here with these cards. This was the bottom of the deck energy, which I meant to take and then forgot. But with their strength, we have the 2 of Swords. So I feel like this is someone who they have the ability of seeing the gray areas. And it's interesting because there was something earlier in this reading, like they're not the type to be really like opinionative, or like, I feel like this is not the person who dies on their hills. It's, you know, that expression, like, this is the hill I'm gonna die on. If I know that expression correctly, it's like, I'm not budging, I'm not changing my mind, I'm gonna stand for this opinion, I'm gonna defend this opinion to the end. They're not really like that. So they don't really like attach their ego or attach their identity to beliefs. And they're okay with being proven wrong, and they're okay with like changing their mind. This is really someone who's like, it's okay to change your mind, it's okay to be wrong, it's okay to make mistakes. So I'm never gonna like really lean towards one direction or the other. This is someone who's able to see both sides of everything. So like if there's 2 extremely opposing views, they can see the value in both, and they can see the good and bad in both sides, you know? And if there's like 2 people who are fighting, they can see where both people are coming from. So even if like there's some views that they disagree with, they can at least like understand, you know? Like, I see why you think that way. I understand how, like, maybe your upbringing and your environment has led you to have this worldview and have this belief. I don't personally agree, but like, that's your truth and that's fine, you know? So I feel like they're just kind of laid back when it comes to like opinions and when it comes to beliefs, and they're always able to see the gray area in between. They're able to see both or all sides of the story. And looking at this black and white pillar when it comes to their career, maybe this is a strength that really comes in handy in their job. Like, they see the good where other people might just see a bad thing, or like they see the bad where other people might just see a good thing. And like, attorney is coming to my mind again with that. It's like, well, I don't know if this is the best, but like, if you're defending someone who a lot of people see as bad for whatever reason, it's like they could see the way to bring out the good in that situation. So, I mean, this strength could make them pretty persuasive in their career, or it could be their big strength in their career. But I think when it comes to how this affects your relationship, rather than having arguments with this person, I feel like you just have discussions, you know? Because they're not really like, they're not so set on like proving that they're right or even believing that they're right. They're just like, this is how I feel. I could be wrong. Like, feel free to give me another opinion. Okay, I see what you mean. So I feel this way and you feel this way. Let's work that out. They're not like, I'm right. They're just not. Because I feel like they've seen so much throughout their lifetimes that it's just ingrained in them that like, they're always going to have a limited perspective as a human. And so it's no use to die on these hills, because at the end of the day, like, none of us know the ultimate truth, you know? So yeah. Moving on, for their weakness, we have the Four of Cups. So one thing that is coming through is that this is someone who could be easily bored. Yeah, I feel like this person kind of always needs something to do. And with the Four of Cups as well, and this is kind of surprising to me, but it's like they do have a side of them that could be kind of pessimistic. And maybe it's not towards everything in life. Maybe it's just towards like one thing in their life, that they're more of a glass half empty kind of person. Maybe it's in their career. Like, maybe they always feel like they could do a little bit better. Yeah, it's like some sensitivity, something that gets them where they're always thinking about how they could have done even more, you know? Like, if I use myself as an example, this would be me, like, you know, I film a reading and, you know, it goes well. I turn off the camera and then I'm like, oh man, but like, I could have given more insight on that one card, or like, I could have interpreted that a little bit differently. It's like they would focus on the stuff that they didn't do right, which honestly, as long as they're not beating themselves up, I feel like that might be a way that might be the very thing that has allowed them to improve so much and be so good at what they do. But because this is coming out as their weakness, I feel like there could be some times where they fall into that trap and they get a little bit hard on themselves, even though deep down they know that they shouldn't do that. And you know, this is Cups energy, right? So this is all about emotion. We've seen that this person, you know, with all of this water, is highly emotional. We've seen that they're sensitive. So I do feel like they kind of fall into those traps of like being hard on themselves sometimes, even though rationally they know like, oh, come on, like you did a great job and nobody's perfect and we can't please everyone. They might still kind of get in their feelings of like, yeah, but I could have done more there. Like I could have done this better. And actually, I feel like this is a weakness that kind of plays out as a strength sometimes. Like, for example, like when this person was in school, or maybe they are still in school, if they got like an 80% on their exam, you know, some people will just be like, oh, sick, like 80, that's a pass, like that's an A or whatever, and just like go on about their life. But this person will like focus on that 20% and study that 20%. And then they'll probably get 100 on the next exam. So it's like a weakness, kind of. I think the being hard on themselves part is a weakness, but having an eye for improvements or sometimes focusing on the negative, so to speak, or like what went wrong could actually really help them out. And I think that this might also just come from their family. Like, even though they are this like old, wise, going with the flow soul, humans are still a product of like their upbringing and their environment to some extent. So it might be something that they picked up on from their family. Like maybe their family really valued like high academia, like high grades and smart children and things like that. Or like maybe when they did chores around the house, like their parents would focus on that one spot that they missed and not like this sparkling clean house. So they're like, they really have an eye for improvement. And then just for the random thing that they would like you to know about them, we have the Two of Wands. So I definitely think that a thirst for travel is close to this person's heart with the globe here and with the kind of adventurous vibe that I got from the Ten of Cups before. But I think that this is not someone who, they're not the type to just like go on solo trips or go on solo adventures. So they could be very excited to have you as like a travel and adventuring companion. And I think they're very excited that the two of you will bring out the best each other. And I think this is just them saying like, we're gonna have a lot of fun together. They would love to explore with you, but it's almost like they're too shy to go on their own. So they're like, maybe sometimes they'll ask you to take the lead, or like go with them when they want to try something new. So that's like the one thing that they would like you to know about them. So now we have to clear these away. I'm gonna keep them off to the side in case we want to revisit them, but we are doing an oracle card spread now to dive deeper into what your relationship is going to be like. So we have these oracle cards here. This energy will be in the middle that represents the overall energy of your relationship. And then we have like a person A, person B spread. I'm thinking because we just went into a lot of depth about your partner, I should be able to figure out which one is them and which one is you, but let's just get into it. So for your middle energy, the energy of your relationship, we have back to what you love, reevaluate your desires. And then on one side, we have the stingray. Okay, so there's water energy here, so maybe they're the stingray. We have essence, soul, authenticity, signature vibration. Square with tension, conflict, obstacles, will, power struggles, compromise, stress, weighing pros and cons, negotiate, self-reflection, opportunity for growth. And in the now. Being in the now is important for your love life at this moment. Release any expectations or worries about your future. Only in the now you can manifest and influence your current love situation. And then on the other side, we have the bat. Talents, on the right path. Sun with expression. Ego, self, personal power, Sunday, Leo, energy, vitality, life force, leadership, pride, health, yang, and masculinity. And then we have have faith. Have faith that the right people and situations will come to you. This card is a confirmation that you made the right decision about someone or something. You are on the right path. Okay, so just one thing about this sun card. First of all, we have Leo energy coming out again, but we have sun and square. So something about you guys might be that your zodiac signs like square each other. So like Scorpio and Aquarius, or like Gemini and Pisces, or Cancer, and Libra. Signs that square each other are 3 signs apart. So like if you count 3 away from your own sign in either direction, that will be a square. If you're familiar with astrology, you should be able to, you know, just do it quickly. But for those of you who are curious and you're not so familiar with astrology, you count 3 signs away. So I was kind of thinking that perhaps this side is your partner, just because of the water energy that came out here, and we saw so much water energy for your person. And another thing is that with them coming out as the Queen of Cups, I was kind of getting the feeling that they might be kind of more in their feminine energy in this relationship. That doesn't mean that they're a woman, or I mean, obviously they could be, but when it comes to like the divine feminine and divine masculine energy, I feel like if I had to like put you in boxes, they would be more on the feminine side and you would be more on the masculine side, or like those are the energies that you're being called to embody in this relationship. Now, of course, that is very oversimplified because you're both going to be embodying both masculine and feminine energies. This is just like if I had to say it very strictly. Now, an interesting thing about this card in the middle, back to what you love, is that okay, wait. Let me talk about these 2 animals first. They are both just facing forward, you know? They're not looking this way or that way. They're just facing forward. And so this tells me that at this time, both of you are just like open. You're just open to this relationship, however and whenever it wants to come in, which is awesome. But when the time comes, we have a person walking from this side over to this side. So this tells me when the time comes, they will be the one to make the first move towards you. And I'm hearing that this is very rare for them, because remember, they're not really the type to go in and like insert themselves in places. They're more in a receptive energy. You know, if you come to me, I will respond. And that's even kind of a high priestess thing that we saw here. If you come to me, I will respond, but I'm not the one to really like go and insert myself in places. And also, on a side note, I have a message about their career, that they have established such a name for themselves in their practice or like in their work that they don't have to go looking for work. It just comes to them. You know, like they don't have to. I'm thinking of like celebrity plastic surgeons, you know, like they're not putting their ads everywhere. It's just like, if you're in the know, you know, like, you know who the best doctor is. They don't have to spend money on advertising because people are just out there with their word of mouth and the people in the right circles know about them. So they've just established such a big name for themselves that like they're not going out pursuing work. It just comes to them. So, but yes, it's very rare for them to be the initiator. And so it's very significant that they're the one who's making the first move towards you, but they just feel so deeply called to do it because, you know, this is someone who is very in tune with their divine wisdom, who is spiritual. And so when they feel that intuitive call to go for it, they're not going to ignore it. And I literally saw 4444 right when I finished saying this, which is like, it's fate, it's destiny. That just goes to show that they will have a deep knowing that they're meant to speak to you, that they're meant to approach you, that they're meant to be with you, and they're going to follow that. So they are coming towards you. With the number 3 here, this is definitely a relationship that is going to bring a lot of abundance into each of your lives. It's also a sign that you will likely make a lot of things together or create a lot of things together, whether that is a family, whether that's art, whether that's like you're building a house together, you are founding something together, you're just making a lot of stuff together basically, because the 3 is 2 coming together and giving birth to a 3rd. And with this message of back to what you love, reevaluate your desires, I think something that would really bring the two of you together is getting back to what you love, or getting back to things that have been on the back burner, getting back to what you're truly passionate about. So it's like you've had these things that you've always loved, or these things that you've always wanted to do, but then life got in the way, or you just kind of strayed away from it. And when you come back to that flame, back to that thing that lights up your heart, that is like the path to this union. And it's very interesting because on your side we have talents with on the right path. So you guys have some talents that your spirit guides are calling you to utilize. Talents that maybe you've either been like neglecting them, or like you haven't had time for them, or maybe it's just been a while. There's nothing wrong with that, but getting back to those talents, like it's time to take your guitar out of the closet and blow the dust off of it and tune it back up and like get back to it. Pursuing your talents will be something that is important to this relationship, or that is important to this union. And with you being this bat, I feel like you are not really gonna see this person coming. I am thinking of how like bats don't see very well, which might be kind of like stereotypical, like, oh, blind as a bat, but you are blind, you're not seeing this, and they're coming towards you. So they're kind of coming in when you least expect it. You are getting back to what you love, you're pursuing your talents, and they are coming into your life. We even have the sun with like expression, and this is also about your talents, your passions, like putting yourself out there, putting yourself in the spotlight, being confident. You're like, I feel like you are the one who is like putting yourself out there and being assertive, and they're like, wow, group number one, like they're just like drawn in by your magnetism, and they come up and, you know, initiate something with you. Yes, so I feel like this bat is saying you are not going to see the way. Just focus on what you love, focus on developing your talents, and have faith. The right people and situations will come to you. And we even have this message twice. You are on the right path. You are on the right path. You made the right decision about someone or something. This is also a confirmation for you guys that any decision you have recently made with regards to your life path, your career, your studies, you've made a decision to start something new or restart something that you were doing before, you did make the right decision. Okay, so over here on their side, we have essence. This is talking about authenticity, signature vibration. And yeah, I think that this is your person, because what makes them so attractive, it cannot be duplicated. They are one of a kind. And what makes them so attractive is their authenticity. They are not like a copy of anyone else. They don't base their look off of anyone else. They don't base what they like off of anyone else. They don't care about like what is cool. They are just so authentic and so original, and their energy is unmistakable. Like once you get a taste of their energy, you cannot forget them. With square and this diamond here, you know, this is talking about tension, obstacles. So I'm thinking about like pressure making a diamond. I feel like when you guys are together, you can really overcome anything. And maybe throughout your relationship together, life will kind of throw some difficult things your way. Like external circumstances will be difficult for you guys, but I feel like you'll always overcome it because you're always like on the same team together. And in the now is such a beautiful card as well. And that goes back to what we were talking about with like not struggling for control and just letting life take you where it wants to take you. I feel like a big theme of this relationship is just about like release and allowing and flowing and having faith. And like that is the energy that you bring out of each other. Also fun with the sun here, like fun and adventure and laughter and passion. Like when you're together, you are really just enjoying life to the fullest, and you're not taking things too seriously. because at the end of the day, you know that this life is temporary and you know that everything is going to turn out okay. And just, I feel like your presence in each other's lives is like a constant reminder of that. Wow, this is such a beautiful energy. I really like this person. I really like you guys together. This is awesome. What else can I say? With Sun, I think that there will be a lot of humor in this relationship, but I think with Sun and Square here, you guys have different senses of humor. So how do I describe this? It's like, let's say they show you a meme and they're laughing their ass off. And you look at this, or like they show you a funny video or that they think is funny and they're laughing their ass off. You watch it and you don't even crack a smile. You're like, this is not funny. But when you look at their reaction and the fact that they are laughing so hard at this stupid thing that is not even funny, that makes you laugh. Does that make sense? Like, you're not laughing at the video, you're laughing at them. Because you're like, this is so dumb. Like, why do you think this is funny? And their reaction is just like priceless. And vice versa. So it's like your conflict in senses of humor actually like makes the situation funny because you're like laughing at yourselves. I hope that that makes sense. With the Sun here, this can also indicate, like, I'm thinking of the 5th house, I'm thinking of like pleasure, I'm thinking of sexuality. So if that is your kind of thing, that area of your life could be quite like adventurous and playful as well, and like very carefree. I think that you guys music will be a big part of your relationship. Like, you'll enjoy the same music, or if you have different tastes in music, you will enjoy like discovering each other's preferred genres. This big old diamond could be a sign that because I feel like you guys will settle down eventually. This could be a sign of having a very large ring. If that's your thing, like a very fancy ring, or having a very fancy wedding, if that is your thing. And I'm just seeing if there's any like symbolism I've missed. So I'm interpreting these quite literally. Thunderstorms could be significant. There could be a thunderstorm when you meet this person, or they could really like thunderstorms. Like, they like the sound of rain, they like the sound of thunder. You guys enjoy like snuggling up together when it's raining outside. But yeah, it's all about just enjoying moments together and being like living life slowly and living life intentionally. So I think that's everything. This is everything that I see for my group number ones. So we are gonna take it over to the extended reading now. Just to recap, in the extended reading, we're gonna see where is this person now, and are they aligned for this union, and are they ready for this union? We're gonna see how specifically you will meet, or if you've already met them, how you will end up together. We're gonna see relevant time frames, and then we are gonna see what this person would like to say to you. So if you are interested in joining me over in the extended reading, that is going to be linked down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment. However, if you're going to leave the reading here, I will say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you would like to find me elsewhere, I am on Instagram. I do pick a card readings there too. I'm on Patreon, where we have dozens of exclusive pick a card readings, as well as 2 new ones every month, and you guys get to choose the topics for those. I have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, the music channel, I have one of those. And also I have merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple in the intro of these videos, and we have that on hoodies, sweatshirts, tote bags, and mugs. So all of that stuff that I just mentioned is going to be linked down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment. Thank you so much for supporting me and for supporting this channel. I really appreciate it, and I am sending you guys so much love. I just saw 5555, and much love to your person. I wish you guys a lot of happiness and lots of love to both of your spirit guides and spiritual teams as well. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number twos. So if you guys chose the Druzy Agate Heart, it's so beautiful, and the Gentle Heart Tarot, this is going to be a reading all about your next serious relationship. Now, I did want to let you guys know a message that came through, which is honestly kind of random, but your spirit guides are reminding you, or they are letting you know that it's time to schedule like a routine checkup or a routine test. You know, like a physical exam, or especially like reproductive health was coming through, but something to do with your body, like maybe you are overdue for a dentist appointment or a visit to the eye doctor, or just a general health check, or maybe there is something in your body that has been bothering you, like a certain pain or discomfort, and you've been meaning to like go get it looked at, but then just like life happens, or you're like, it's not that bad, it'll go away on its own, and your guides are saying like, no, you should probably like go to the doctor, you should get that looked at because you deserve to feel better. So yeah, kind of unrelated, but I thought I would let you guys know. And yeah, let's get into the reading now. So like I mentioned in the intro, there is a lot that we're going to be looking at today, and so as I sometimes do, I made lists so that I don't forget. So I'm going to show you guys that now. Over here on YouTube, we are going to be looking at the main traits of your future partner, which includes their personality, their appearance, and their astrological placements. We are going to look at their higher self and their 3D self, their strengths and weaknesses, their career and hobbies, and then we're going to look at what your relationship is like together. So that's going to include your energy within the relationship, their energy within the relationship, and then the overall energy of your connection together. And then over in the extended reading, we're going to see where is your person now, and are they ready for this union with you? We're going to see how you will meet them, or if you already know them, we'll see how you will end up ultimately getting together. We're going to see any relevant specific time frames in this relationship, and then finally get a message from your future partner. So if that sounds good to you, sit back and relax and let's get started. So I'm actually going to put this deck that you guys chose aside for just a moment, and we're gonna do something kind of fun now, or at least I think it's fun. But I have the Moonchild Tarot deck here, and I have broken it up into Major Arcana, Court cards, and Minor Arcana, and I'm gonna shuffle and pull one card from each of these, and that's gonna sort of paint the main picture of who your future partner is. So let's get started with Major Arcana. The Major Arcana, ooh, okay. We have the Magician coming out very fast. All right. So this describes your future partner's higher self. For the Court card, we have the Page of Swords. And one of my nails just fell off. Okay. And then we have the Seven of Wands. I'm just gonna, you know what? This nail glue is so bad, but let me put it back on and then we will get to this reading. Okay, so casual little earthquake as I was putting my nail back on. That's so funny because a couple years ago, I still remember this. I was filming like a soulmate reading, like who is your soulmate? And an earthquake happened in one of the piles, and now I'm doing a relationship reading and that just happened again. Please let me know if you happen to have seen that video from all those years ago and you were in the earthquake pile. That would be so funny. But that's also really funny because what was really coming to my mind for this group in terms of your future partner is that their higher self is very, very excited right now. And so maybe that little earthquake was also a sign of that. Just from how quickly this Magician card flew out, I knew right away that your future partner's higher self is very excited, but also exciting. And that likely means that something is about to happen very soon in your connection. So you could be meeting this person very soon or getting into the relationship with them very soon if you already know them. And also, all of the cards that we have here do denote like a speed. You know, the Magician is ruled by the planet of Mercury, which is the fastest moving planet. The Page of Swords and Wands as well are the two faster suits. So I definitely think that that could be referring to something happening very soon in your relationship. When I combine that with how excited the Magician was and with that earthquake, I definitely think that that was a sign. But there could be something involving speed, like that has to do with a trait of your person. So for example, they could be a very fast talker. They could walk very fast, which is me. Nobody walks faster than me except for my partner. They could drive really fast, or they could like cars or like race cars, or they could be a runner or something like that. Something to do with speed. Maybe they like the movie Fast and Furious or something like that. But anyway, it could also be like after you meet, things move really quickly, you know, like you get together quickly and fall in love quickly, or it feels fast to you. But yeah, okay, let's look at these cards one by one. So we have the Magician, which is representing their higher self. So I think that this person is an excellent manifester. I think that when they want something and they set their mind to it, they get it. I'm not sure if this person is like, you know, actively spiritual or like very into spirituality, but I think that they definitely do believe in the power of their thoughts, and they definitely believe in and utilize the concept of manifestation. I think that they definitely believe, like, you know, you attract what you put out into the world. Your life around you is a match to your inner vibration. I think that this is definitely something that they have used. And I think that at the time that you come together with your future partner, they are either going to be in the process of building their ideal reality, or they will be living in their ideal reality. Like, they will be living their dream life. I feel like this is an independent soul. I feel like they will be some kind of self-made person, or they will have started their own business or started their own project. I feel like this is not really someone who does well taking instructions from others. Not like they're difficult to work with or anything like that, but I feel like they're like, I don't want to work for someone else's dream. I want to work for my own dream. You know, I want to work for myself. I'm also getting that this person is highly intelligent, and so not a lot of people can keep up with them. And maybe that's that speed too. Like, the gears in their head turn very quickly. They're very sharp, they're very witty, which I think makes them also very hilarious and an excellent conversationalist. But it's like, for some people, their intelligence just like goes over their head, or like their humor just goes over their head because like they're not smart enough to get it. And so if you are this person's partner, that means that you are smart enough to get it. And I also think that this person probably manifested you or is actively manifesting you right now. I think that this is someone who is very particular about how they want to get things done, especially when it comes to their work or when it comes to their creative process. I think that they want to be hands-on in everything that they do. They might have a little bit of that, if I want something done right, I have to do it myself, which I think it's beautiful that they want to like take on so many roles and take so much responsibility in their work. But they could have a hard time like delegating tasks to other people, because like they either have a hard time trusting people that they will come through, or they're just really, really particular and picky about their work and they want to do it themselves. And that could lead to them taking on too much work. With that being said, I do think that I just can like see comments like, oh, so I'm dating myself for this group. What was I going to say? I definitely think that this person can handle a lot of work and they can handle a lot of multitasking, but they're still a human, you know? They're still a human and they still could get tired and they still could burn out. So I think that something that they will need to learn, or maybe that they're in the process of learning, is like delegating work to trusted and competent people. And, you know, those people are out there. I'm just getting like they're like making products and they're kind of in every single step of the thing. Like they're making clothes or they're making some kind of product and they're designing it, and then they're like in the factory overseeing the manufacturing process, and then they're overseeing like the marketing and advertising process and like getting it into stores. I don't really know how that process works, but it's like they're involved in every single step of the process and like taking on a bunch of roles because they want it to be done right. And it's just like their passion is really, really inspiring, but I hope that they'll find people that they can trust to like, you know, take on more of the roles. Unless they like doing everything, then they can just ignore me. But definitely a very intelligent person, very capable person, very competent kind of at everything they do. With the wand, cup, pentacle, and sword here, it's like anything they try their hand at, I feel like they're really, really good at it, just because they learn fast, you know? They'll pick anything up quickly. So if they try their hand at a new skill, it's like they just kind of have to try it a few times and then they're like, oh, it's like that. Okay, got it. So very, very intelligent and competent person. And I think that this comes from their higher self. Their higher self is just so eager to incarnate and to have experiences. This is funny, but I'm kind of seeing their soul as like a happy dog, you know, like, what are we doing? Oh, we're going to Earth. Okay, let's go. And then as long as they're with their soul family, as long as they're with their soul companions, they're just like down for anything. So I think it comes from an enthusiasm from their soul, and also having quite varied incarnations. I feel like this is not a soul that does, you know, like comes down and does the same thing every time. It's like they're always learning different lessons and they're mastering those lessons quickly. So this person has a very like well-rounded soul and a very enthusiastic soul, which is just so much fun. I love that. And a master manifester as well. So moving on to the Page of Swords here, I think that this person could either be younger than you or around the same age, or they're just very, very youthful. And I think that that goes for their looks as well. I would say that people mistake this person for being like at least 5 years, but in some cases even 10 years younger than they actually are. So like, for example, if they're 30 years old and they tell people that they're 30, people are like, oh my gosh, I thought you were like in college. Or I mean, 30-year-olds can be in college, but like, I thought you were like 22. I thought you were 20. Like, they just look very youthful. Page of Swords often gives me that. And I also think because like they kind of stay up to date with like the trends and the popular humor. So they always kind of seem like young and hip and fresh. They could also dress in a youthful way. I don't know what that means, but maybe they keep up with the fashion trends. There could be something brightly colored about them. Mercury energy gives me that vibe, you know, like wearing colorful clothing or having colorful hair. I think that this person has a very good bone structure to their face and a very symmetrical face. And I think that they have really nice eyebrows and they have some like beauty mark or birthmark on their face that is kind of like, I don't know, significant or like attractive. And I also think that they have dark hair and they could have longer hair. If this is someone who grows facial hair, then they could often have like, maybe not as long as this magician, or maybe it is, but they could, you know, have, yeah, facial hair. And I also am getting medium build vibes, which is obviously subjective, but maybe what you would consider medium build. And then there's emphasis on this person's hands with like the pattern on their hands. So they could have attractive hands, they could have nice nails, maybe they get their nails done. They might have tattoos on their hands as well, or they could wear gloves. Maybe that's like, I don't know, maybe for their job they wear gloves. I don't know what that would be, but maybe they do. I also feel like this person comes from a place that is cold, or colder than where you are from, or at least a place where it would snow sometimes. And a place where like it gets cold and dark in the winter. That's the vibe that I'm getting. But yeah, from the Page of Swords, this can also indicate that you guys would start off as friends, and the most like significant or fulfilling connection that you guys will have is your intellectual connection. Like your mental connection, you really get each other, you have amazing conversations, you have the same sense of humor, you can talk about anything, and, you know, importantly, you can keep up with each other. So I think you guys are most attracted to each other's brains and to each other's ideas and just the way that you converse and, you know, the way that you get along like that. I think that you might really get each other's references. You get each other's obscure references, or you both have a lot of knowledge in the same field, and so you can talk about that, which is really awesome. It doesn't necessarily have to be related to your job, but I don't know, like maybe you're really interested in psychology and they're really interested in psychology, and so you can talk about that and use, you know, the related terminology and get really deep about that. Also, this person is extremely straightforward and to the point, which honestly, well, for some of you, depending on your personality, that could hurt your feelings sometimes. For others of you, you might be like, oh my God, thank you for being blunt with me. Like, I just want someone to tell me like it is, even if it's bad. But just so you know, like, I don't think this person sugarcoats at all. Like, they literally can't sugarcoat, because this person cannot lie. Like, they're just very, very honest. And they might have a big mouth, you know? I feel like with the Mercury energy and with the Page of Swords here, it's like they just have to tell you what's on their mind, and they just have to tell it like it is. But, and I always say this, something that's really beautiful about this is that when this person is like complimenting you or praising you, all those positive things that they say, you can know for sure it's because they really mean it. They're not just trying to flatter you, or they're not trying to like get something out of you. Like, I think this person just has really, really pure intentions, you know? So they're always telling the truth, and yes, they can get what they want, but they don't have to do it through manipulation. Like, they just do it through their sheer willpower, you know? So if someone's not giving them what they want, they're not like, oh, okay, how can I manipulate them to give me what I want? They're just like, okay, it's not going to work here, I'll go somewhere else, because I know that there's someone else out there who will be willing to, you know, give me what I want. So I don't have to waste my time like lying or buttering people up or, you know, kissing butt and manipulating people. Like, I'll just go where I'm wanted. I don't care. I can manifest anything. I'm not pressed. And then they go somewhere else. So really like authentic vibe. But you know, I think that some people, I mean, you could say this for anything, but some people really don't vibe with your future partner because some people don't want to hear it like it is. Some people want to have sunshine and rainbows shoved at them and just want to be flattered and want to be surrounded by yes people. And this person is not a yes person. They're a honest person. So they're just really like authentic. They keep it real. And they can put this energy back to themselves, you know. They will also be very self-aware and roast themselves and call themselves out. So, you know, it's not like a I'm better than you thing. It's just like a let's keep it real and let's call each other out and let's keep each other accountable and always keep each other growing. With the Seven of Wands here, this makes a lot of sense because when this comes out for someone's personality, it often shows me that they're kind of taking on too much. They're like burning the candle at both ends or spreading themselves thin. And I was kind of getting that vibe with them before. So yeah, seeing the Seven of Wands here makes sense. But another thing that this often tells me in a relationship reading is that you guys could be very different on the outside. I think that mentally and emotionally and spiritually, you guys are very, very similar, but on the surface, you seem quite different. So I'm kind of getting this feeling where like outsiders say to you that you're an unlikely pair, and you guys are like, what do you mean? We're like the same person. But like at a first glance, you might not come across that way. So for example, you know, I don't know, maybe you have very different physical appearances, or you come from very different backgrounds, you come from different cultures, or you have like really different upbringings or something like that. Things that are kind of, I guess that's not surface level, but at first glance, you wouldn't seem like a likely pair, whatever that means. I guess for closed-minded people, but on the inside, you are very, very similar. Yeah. In terms of zodiac signs, we have Mercury here with the Magician. So this could be Gemini or Virgo energy. With Page of Swords, this is air sign energy. So Gemini again, as well as Libra and Aquarius. And then with the Seven of Wands here, this is Mars in Leo. So they could have a Leo Mars. They could also have Mars in Gemini or Virgo, or they could have like Mercury in an air sign or Mercury in Leo. Yeah. And then I was speaking about a dog before. I was likening them to a dog. So they could be Year of the Dog, which is 1994, 1982, 1970, and then you just like keep going back 12 years. I also think that your friends and their friends will get along. And I think that you can hang out a lot with your friends, or the two of you might create a new friend group together. Because I was sort of getting that feeling of a soul family, like a larger group of souls that you and this person are part of, and then you have like all of your friends and you all hang out together. I just got the biggest craving for garlic bread. Let me know if some of you guys are like eating something with garlic, because that happens sometimes where I'm like, oh, I just smelled blah blah blah, and then someone's like, shut up, I literally just lit my blah 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 scented candle. So if that's from you, let me know, and I salute you for your good taste in food. All right, so let's finally get into the deck that you guys chose, the Gentle Heart Tarot. I'm going to be very careful with my poorly glued nails, so I'm sorry if this shuffling is kind of lackluster. Yeah, let's just do a gentle, like, there we go. All right, so let's find out more about this person's career and hobbies. Okay, so we have the Page of Crystals, which is the Page of Pentacles. We have the Two of Cups. For their strengths and weaknesses. We have the High Priestess and the Eight of Swords. And then for the, oh wait, I keep forgetting. Okay, I'm gonna stop shuffling it now because for the last card, I wanted to look at the bottom of the deck and I forgot in group number 1 too. But the bottom of the deck card is just gonna be anything else that your partner would like you to know about them. Oh, and we have the Knight of Cups. Okay, that's very sweet. All right, so in terms of their career, we have the Page of Crystals here, which is the Page of Pentacles. It's funny that now we have 2 pages, and Mercury as well, it's like a youthful energy. So either this is a younger person than you, or they are just very, very youthful. But yeah, I was getting the feeling from this person that they're starting their own project or starting their own business. Oh wait, this is the Page of Wands, never mind. But I'm gonna keep in mind that I was saying Pentacles because it might be relevant. I don't know how I did that because there's a literal freaking wand here, but whatever. So they could be, I feel like they are making something tangible. They're making something physical. Or it could be virtual as well, but they've created something. So like apparel brand is coming to my mind. They could, maybe they're like making an app or something like that. But I feel like they are making some like physical property or some kind of intellectual property. And it's like their own idea. They could also do something related to finance, either as their main job or a side hustle. Like they might be really into investing and that's like one of their sources of income. Or they could be like a financial advisor or something like that. Maybe they have a day job in like finance and then they're doing this passion project on the side. But I feel like they are definitely making something of their own. But the fact that we have pages here, I feel like this is indicating that their passion projects are still in the early stages. So we had that message of your partner being in the process of manifesting their ideal reality. I think that they are really just starting to see these things come to fruition. So when you meet this person, I think that they're going to be like in the early stages of planning something, which is really exciting, and they will probably share the ideas with you. And that's really sweet because I think that whatever they do for a living is something that you are genuinely interested in and you're genuinely interested in knowing more about. And I just got this image of you guys like on a date. You're somewhere dark, like a dimly lit restaurant or bar or pub or something. I'm kind of getting like the vibe of one of those places that has like a pool table and like sports playing on the TVs and there's like wings and stuff, one of those. And they mention what they're working on, like, oh, I do this for a living, but I'm working on starting this business. And you genuinely being interested in that like for example, if it's an apparel brand, maybe you're like genuinely interested in fashion, or you want to make your own brand, and so you're like, oh my gosh, I want to hear all about that. And when you say that, their face just lights up, and it's this really like pure moment, because maybe not a lot of people, like either not a lot of people take interest in what they're doing. Like if they say they're starting this business, most people are just like, oh cool, that sounds nice anyway. So like my cat had a hairball today, and you know, like just talk about something else. Or like, you know, a lot, that could be another thing. Like, you know a lot about this thing that they're getting into, and so they can talk about it deeply with you and you'll get it, or they can actually pick your brain, you know? Like, you might actually have experience with the passion project that they're trying to like get off the ground, and so they can ask you all about it. There's some like well of knowledge that you have that they'll be really excited about because they get to share it with you. And there's something about that look on their face when they realize you're taking interest and that you're like, you can talk about it, that just makes them really, really happy. You might even, you know, get involved, like get in on this business, or like just get involved in making their dreams a reality. But like, it's something new and fresh and exciting, and it's like they're creating a brand, they're manufacturing products, or they might even be trying to make a music label or something like that. And the pages could also be like they want to manage people, they want to like recruit people. But yeah. So with the Two of Cups here, talking about their hobbies, I could hear them being like, my hobby is spending time with you. Like, I just love being with you and spending time with you. But I feel like this person, like we spoke about, they're really just good at everything. And I think that they do have a lot of interests, and this is someone who can honestly have fun doing anything because they're just so curious, and I think they're like extroverted. So as long as they're doing it with people, they'll have fun because they have such a good time like talking to people. So I don't know, like let's say they're like trying out pottery. Even if pottery is not really their thing, if they're doing it with you or if they're doing it with their friends, like they're gonna have a good time regardless, because like, you know, you'll be cracking jokes and bonding along the way. So it's like the socializing experience is what really makes it for them. So they'll be down to do anything. They'll be down to do anything. Just maybe don't take them to a movie unless you're okay with them like talking through the movie or like making comments, because they like conversing. I'll tell you that. They like conversating, which is not a word. I think you mean conversing. So yeah, like as long as they're with you or as long as they're with their friends, and that's like their soul. As long as I'm with my soul family, I'll have a good time. Like I'm down for anything. So like, I don't know, if you like baking, they're down to bake with you. If you like going for walks, they're down to go for a walk with you. This person is really just like up for anything, and it's so beautiful. Like they just love being alive. They just want to like try everything and do everything. I love that. So, but for their own hobbies, what was it? We had speed coming up before, so I don't know, maybe driving, racing, watching racing, something that involves speed, whatever that means. Maybe they like doing Sudokus and like timing themselves, or like running and they're like trying to beat their time or something. And now I'm also tasting mango, which is really nice. Okay, so let's look at the High Priestess now in terms of their strengths. And first of all, I think that this is talking about their intelligence and how very, very knowledgeable they are. I also think that this is someone who does not get a lot of sleep, which is coming through as a strength. Maybe that's their like self-proclaimed strength, you know. They just have a lot of energy. And it seems like they don't need to sleep much. This person could be a night owl. Like they might stay up late working or just get a lot of their ideas and get a lot of their inspiration late at night. I think this person is very good at reading people. That's another strength of theirs. Whether they're spiritual or not, I do think that they're highly intuitive and they are very much connected to their higher self. And another strength of theirs, and we kind of spoke about this before, is that they understand that what is meant for them will find them. And so they often go through life in this allowing state. You know, this is a very hardworking and driven person, but they don't really chase, you know? They take inspired action. They work hard when it feels good. And if something's not working, they have no problem with like pivoting. It's like they don't get attached to any one way that something needs to happen. And so if spirit wants to redirect them, they're very open to that. So it's like an adaptability, it's a flexibility that is a big strength of theirs. And they don't need to chase, they don't need to beg for anyone to like them or beg for anyone to help them. They're like, I'll just go where I'm wanted. I'll go where I'm feeling called. I'll go where the energy is taking me. They're very good at flowing like this. And I also think there is a very like calm and deep and wise side to them that not a lot of people get to see, that I think you will get to see, of course, as you build an intimate relationship with them. Because you know, we've spoken how they're so like energetic and extroverted and chatty, and a lot of people might mistakenly think that that's all there is to them, but they can really like slow down and quiet down in certain moments, you know? You get these beautiful moments with them where they're just very serene and very deep. That side of them might not come out all the time, but when they're comfortable, when they're around the right person, that's when they can really get into this energy. You know, this beautiful, beautiful energy. So in terms of their weakness, we have the Eight of Swords, and this is kind of surprising. And I think it would be surprising to anyone who knows this person, but I think that they do struggle with negative self-talk sometimes. And, you know, I think we could all say that to some extent, but you know, this person really comes across as like super confident, super talented, they can do anything, like really driven. And so it's kind of surprising to know, like they do kind of have this negative self-talk or that, you know, overly critical inner narrative, which if this person does have like, I'm thinking of Virgo placements because of that Mercury energy, that kind of like critical vibe or perfectionist vibe, which I know is kind of like stereotypical Virgo energy, but I do think that this person is like kind of hard on themselves at times, or you know, has that negative self-talk. I don't think that this is a huge deal because I feel like they're, you know, confident and trusting in the universe energy does overpower this, but I think that, you know, every now and then they do get like this sometimes. And because they kind of voice everything that's on their mind, you might catch this person like talking negatively about themselves sometimes, or like talking in a self-deprecating way, and you might have to be like, I will not tolerate that language. But yeah, they have a little bit of that negative self-talk. And then for just anything that your future partner would like you to know about them, we have the Knight of Cups, which means that this person is very sweet and very romantic. They will definitely be very, very expressive with their love towards you. I think that this person gives a lot of words of affirmation. I think that this person gives a lot of their quality time, which that's how you know they really love you, because it's like they're so busy and yet they will always carve time out in their day to see you. They will always make it a priority to spend time with you, not because they feel like they have to, but because they genuinely want to. Because remember, that's the thing about this person. If they're saying something, it's because they mean it. If they're doing something, it's because they really want to. They don't really feel obliged or pressured to do things. They're like, I'll do it because I really, really want to. I want to shower you with this love. I want to spend as much time with you as I can. I think that there's something charmingly clumsy that this person does for you. So like, for example, they're a really bad singer, but they'll like serenade you, or they're not a very good writer, but they'll write you poems. It's like, I don't care if I make a fool of myself. I just want to make romantic gestures towards you. I just want to let you know how much I care about you. So they're very, very expressive in that way. I also think that they're very like thoughtful and considerate. So, you know, if you, I don't know, like if they see that something you like is on sale, they'll make sure to pick it up for you. Or like if they know that you're going to be home late and it's cold outside, like they'll make sure to have hot tea or hot chocolate waiting for you. Or like if you're spending a long time working, they'll come and bring you snacks. Like they'll come and rub your shoulders. Like just doing those little things to look out for you and to let you know that you're cared for. And I just got this specific message of like, they remember like to pick up tampons like at the right time of the month. Obviously that's not going to be for everyone, but it's like they remember these things. You don't have to tell them a million times what you like or what you need or like what will make you feel good. It's like you just have to tell them once, or maybe you don't even have to tell them. Maybe they will just see you doing it and they will remember, you know, like they observe you. Oh, you know, group 2 seems to make tea at 5 p.m. all the time. So they're like, okay, it's 4:45. I'm going to make group 2 some tea so that they don't have to do it. And I'm going to steep it for 3.5 minutes because that makes it the perfect strength that group number 2 likes. And I will serve it at 68 degrees Celsius because that is the temperature they like best. And I know because I saw them set the kettle to that temperature. Like they're observing like that, and they got you, and they know exactly what you need. And they always, you know, like if you're traveling, they're like, I packed this, I packed all of the chargers, I packed chapstick, I brought snacks, like like they just have everything. They just have everything prepared for you. I brought Tylenol because I know you get headaches. Like they're always just prepared to take care of you. They're like, I got you, just relax. And you never have to feel bad because they want to do this for you. It makes them happy. It brings them joy. It probably brings them more joy than it brings you sometimes. So that's what they want you to know. So now we're gonna clear away these cards. I will leave them off to the side in case we want to bring them out again. But now we are gonna move into the oracle card part of this reading. And I'm gonna drink some water. Okay, so for the oracle card part of this reading, this is gonna be where we look even deeper into what your relationship is going to be like with them. So this card here sort of represents the overall energy of your relationship, which we will put in the middle. And then we're going to do this in like a person A, person B style. Because we have just spent quite a bit of time talking about your partner, I might be able to tell when we lay the cards out, like which side is them, if it's like consistent with the previous description, and which side is you. But yeah, let's just see what we got. So, for the middle card representing the overall energy of this relationship, we have the Union of Hearts. A love connection defies explanation. And then over on one side, we have the Frog. Stability, security, grounding, strength, safety. We have Leo, the the showstopper, enthusiastic, generous, magnetic, pretentious, show-off, bossy, extroverted, proud, headstrong, loyal, seeks approval, loving, ruler of the 5th house. And we have take it slow. Don't rush into this connection and situation. Take your time to get to know each other. Let this connection unfold how it's meant to be. Don't push anything. And then on the other side, we have the Panther. We have love, universal, unconditional love, source. We have Sagittarius, the explorer, adventurous, distant places, free spirit, clever, travel, philosophy, bold, blunt, impatient, argumentative, independent, and ruler of the 9th house. And then we have past life relationship. Your souls know each other from previous lifetimes, and you have been with this person together before. There is an instant attraction and recognition on a soul level. Oh my goodness. Okay, I need to drink water again. All right. I don't know why I'm drinking the water so deliciously. It just tastes very good right now. All right, so I want to talk about this. A love connection defies explanation, because we had that previous message of you guys kind of seeming like an unlikely couple. While that could be because of, you know, how you come across externally, like your backgrounds, your cultures, whatever it might be, it could also just be that the way you got together is very unlikely. It's the kind of stuff that people make movies about. Maybe like you continually kept bumping into each other. You bumped into each other once in Canada, and then you bumped into each other again in like Kenya, and then you bumped into each other again in Norway. Like maybe it's not that dramatic, but it's like you just kind of keep finding each other and keep running into each other. Or maybe like a lot of the odds were stacked against you for being able to end up together, and somehow you made it happen. Your journey to each other, it kind of defies all odds, and it makes people, like when people hear your story, it would make them believe in love. It would make, like in true love, and it would make them believe in fate. Once you meet this person, or honestly even before you meet them, you could start to have a lot of weird psychic experiences, or start to have a lot of weird downloads. For example, you could start very vividly dreaming about them. You could be picking up on their thoughts, their feelings. Like, there's no English word for this, but like just as we were talking about before, the things that they taste, you know, because I was like tasting garlic bread, and then I was tasting mango. You know, maybe your partner is eating those things right now, which is kind of a weird combination, but I won't judge them. You know, things that you cannot explain in a 3D way. And I think that for those of you who are going through something like that, this card is here to validate that. Also kind of specific, if you ever see a very large amount of birds just like hanging out in a tree together, that could be your person's like higher self saying hi, or your soul family actually letting you know that they are watching over you. So I know it's very specific, but if you ever see like, wow, that's a lot of birds sitting in that tree, or like that's a very large flock of birds that just flew by, that could actually be your soul family. Like, we're here, we're saying hello, we love you, we're watching over you. And I also want to talk about this number 28 here. It could be that you or this person is 28 years old, but this is actually a number when it comes to relationships that does make me think that in some way you will be partnering up and making money together. You know, with 2 being like a partnership, with 8 being like a number of abundance, also is making me think of the 2nd house and the 8th house. You know, the 2nd house having to do with finances, especially like your own assets, and then the 8th house having to do with other people's finances and assets. So you could be like coming together, joining your knowledge, joining your resources, and making something together. I feel like for some reason, like you're getting in on their business, or like being involved in their passion project in some way, helping to manage it, or because you have whatever it is that they're trying to start, you already have expertise on it. The number 28 also does make me think of a past life relationship, because the number 8 does make me think of, you know, past lives and karma and things of that nature. And then 2, again, being like a relationship, a partnership. So you definitely know this person from a past life. This card says you have been with this person together before, but I feel like it may not necessarily be that you've been lovers before, although you very well could have been. But I definitely know that your souls know each other. Okay, so judging from these 2 sides, I'm kind of getting the feeling that this is you and this is your person, because this side feels more like a slow energy. Water is slow, stability feels slow. Leo is a fixed sign, it feels slow. We literally have take it slow. And then over here, because we had speed coming up for them so much, so like if there's a slow energy, I'm like, okay, this is probably not them, this is probably you. And then the other thing is over here we have bold and blunt, so I'm like, okay, that's them. Panther, the like that fiery personality, that kind of seems like them too. Also, you know, like travel, philosophy, free spirit, independent, that's very much them too. Like always wanting to expand, always wanting to try new things. So I feel like this is their vibe. With Leo and Sagittarius coming out, which are both fire signs, this could be indicating that you and your partner are the same element, you know, like you're both fire signs, or you're both water signs, or you both have a lot of earth placements, you know, you have a lot of the same element in your birth chart. Even if it's not fire, that's something that is going to make you guys get along quite a bit. Also, you see how this frog is yellow and green, and then the panther has yellow and green eyes? I kind of feel like that's your person's way of saying, like, I can't take my eyes off of you, because like their eyes are filled with the colors of you. I can't take my eyes off you. Or they might be really, really attracted to, like physically attracted to you, really like attracted to your body. We have the frog and the panther are facing each other, and obviously the 2 people in this card are facing each other, which I think is very, very significant. That means like you're both wanting this relationship. You're both moving towards this relationship. And the fact that these people are literally kissing, like they're literally physically touching in this card, it's like, I really feel you guys are so close. Like you're so close to meeting, you're so close to getting together. And this mirrors what we saw earlier in the reading as well. I think that the panther also means that your person is going to be very protective over you. Like they will be really fiercely like protective and loyal towards you. You know, we got that message of this person being quite like blunt and straightforward, and so at times they might like call you out. But I'm getting this vibe of like, you know how you have that thing where like I'm allowed to roast my best friend, but if someone else roasts my best friend, I'm getting mad at them. It's like they have that vibe. So if anyone else tried to say anything, they would like go after them. Obviously not in a violent way, but just like, you can't talk about my person like that. I'm allowed to tease them, but you're not, kind of thing. It's like, I feel like that happens like with your country sometimes, you know, like I can talk shit about my country, but if someone else talks shit about my country, then like we're meeting outside, we're taking this outside kind of thing. Anyway, you're like, they're just so loyal to you. You're like their family, you're like their heart and soul. Like with this love here, this is literally like they love you unconditionally. It literally says on this card. And you know, with Source, I definitely feel like you guys go way, way, way back from a soul perspective. And even if this is not like a spiritual person like that, they definitely feel the familiarity. And in fact, meeting you and getting to know you might be the thing that makes them believe in like past lives, like that there must be something to it, because they just feel so familiar towards you in a way that they can't explain, especially if you guys seem very, very different. Like on the outside, they're like, there's no way you could remind me of someone I already know, because you're so different from everyone that I already know. So what is this familiarity? Like it has to come from somewhere else, because this just doesn't make sense. And it's interesting too how like the explorer message and the arrow is going towards past life relationships. So, you know, if this is their energy within the relationship, meeting you and getting into a relationship with you might be the thing that makes them want to explore past lives more and like, you know, get into that more. You know, and that's just one of the many ways that you really expand their mind and make them, you know, thirstier for knowledge. I think that being with you is really like an adventure to them, and it really, really enriches their life. And you are going to help this person become successful. You are going to help this person create a lot of abundance in their life. And I think that this might be something karmic, you know, something from a past life. So maybe in a past life, they helped you become very successful, and now you are going to help them become very successful with your expertise. So on to your side with the frog here. What frogs, well, first of all, I remember reading somewhere that frogs are a sign of fertility. And I think that in Japan, they can be kind of like a lucky animal for abundance, because it's something about the way that you say frog. It's like if you spend money, money will come back to you. So like frog will bring money to you. You know, we spoke about the odds kind of being against you guys for you to be together. Maybe there's like physical distance. I don't know what it is. But I feel like in this situation, you will be more the one to like accommodate to them, you know? Because frogs make me think of adaptability. They make me think of like, you know, because they're an amphibian. They can live in the water and they can live on land. So, I don't know. For example, let's say you live in different countries. You live in A land and they live in B land. And maybe you are the one who is more like you're able to move, whereas they're like, I can't move away from B land because, you know, maybe they're like, I have to take care of my parents, or like, I can't quit my job right now, or like there's something that they kind of are staying where they are, and you are more flexible. You know, like maybe you have a job that you can work from everywhere, or like you don't really have anything that's like attaching you to your base at this time. Or, you know, this doesn't even have to be about physical location. That's just an example. But I feel like when the external circumstances might be making it difficult for you guys to see each other and get together, you might be the one who is adapting more. Like you might be the one who is changing your life more to be with this person, or like adjusting your schedule more to accommodate their schedule. It seems like in some way you are the one who can afford to be more flexible. And that might actually be a sign that like this meeting is near or this relationship is near, is when you start to feel more flexibility in your life. You have more freedom, more flexibility, and so you can kind of adapt to their schedule and to their circumstances. But with that fertility and abundance message, it means that any changes you make are also going to be beneficial for you. So it's not like you're like, oh, like I'm sacrificing so much to be with this person. Like I'm making all these changes to suit them at my own expense. It's not like that. You're actually adapting to their situation, and then it's benefiting you too. So like another example of this would be like maybe they live right downtown in the big city, and you kind of live out in the suburbs or in a more like rural area, but they can't leave the city. Like they have to be there for work. And so you're like, okay, I'll move closer to the city. I'll move closer to the center. And then when you do that, you start like making all these amazing friends, or a bunch of amazing opportunities start coming to you because you're there where it's busy and where everything is happening. So it's like whatever you have to adapt for this to work, it's gonna be amazing for you, which is awesome, because I feel like if you made all these changes to be with them and then that didn't benefit you, there could be like resentment there, or it would feel like sacrifice, but it's not like that. It's gonna reward you as well. It's gonna bring awesome things to your life as well. Like we literally have stability under this. So like it's gonna bring you security. It's gonna bring you abundance. Ooh, I love that. With Leo, the showstopper, again, I definitely think that they're extremely attracted to you. They're like mesmerized by your natural beauty. The things that you might feel like are imperfections, it's like the very things that they find so beautiful. And they make you feel like, when you're with them, they make you feel like the center of the universe. Like they just make you feel so special. If you guys have any Leo placements, that Leo placement is going to be so happy in this relationship. That Leo placement is going to be so spoiled, like so spoiled. I know how you Leo Venuses are. You're going to be really, really happy in this connection. Like just so, receive so much affection, so much praise, so much spoiling, so much positive reinforcement, so many like grand gestures from your person. And there's definitely going to be a lot of passion here. And then we have take it slow. Don't rush into this connection and situation. Take your time to get to know each other. Let this connection unfold how it's meant to be. Don't push anything. I feel like your person is more the one who kind of moves fast. And I think that maybe this card is here to say, like, don't be afraid to speak up, you know? If you ever feel like things are moving too quickly, or just if you need more time to make a decision in any aspect, don't be afraid to like vocalize that. Especially like for some of you, this might be about, you know, moving the relationship to a physical level, or like, you know, going farther with intimacy. For those of you who like, you have to spend a lot of time with someone first, or you have to get to know them very, very deeply, please don't ever feel, especially like, well, don't feel like this ever, but especially with this person, like if you feel like they're moving fast to get to that like physical part of the relationship, it's really just because they're so attracted to you and there's no other meaning to it. So you never have to feel like, oh, like, it's like you never have to feel pressured, or that like they're gonna be upset if you don't want to take it to that level yet, you know? Just please honor your need to take your time in any situation. Because if you speak up about that, like, I'm not ready for this, or I still need time to think about this, or like, I don't know what I want yet, I need more time to like make this decision, or I feel like we're moving a little bit fast in this area, like whatever it is, don't be afraid to speak up, because they will respect that. And I also think in general, you are teaching your person about the beauty of slowness, because I feel like, you know, they're really like passionate and driven, like we've spoken about, and they could be kind of like a go, go, go personality. And so I think you really teach them the joy of just being, just slowing down and just existing. And I think that they'll be very, very grateful to you for that. You kind of help them get into this like slow and still high priestessy type of energy. And you know, we spoke about with their hobbies, like they're down to try anything, they're down to do anything with you. So I don't know, if maybe you're into meditating, maybe you're into yoga, maybe you're into stargazing, maybe you're into napping, things that involve stillness. And so they'll be so open to trying that. And I think they're going to be like, damn, this slowness is really nice, this rest is really nice, like I've unlocked a new pleasure. So if they feel kind of fast, please never feel like, oh, I need to catch up with them. Keep going at your slow pace, and they will learn to slow down, and they will learn to feel the beauty of that slowness. Really learn to savor it, you know? Like even eating, I don't know, maybe this person eats really fast and you eat slowly. And so we, as if I'm your spirit guide, your guides never want you to think like, oh, they're eating fast, like they're probably going to want to leave soon, so I should hurry up and finish my dinner. No, eat slowly. Eat at your slow pace, and then they will see, oh, like group 2 is eating slow. Maybe I should slow down. Maybe I should just enjoy the mood and enjoy the conversation and savor my food, and then it starts tasting better, you know? So you can teach them a thing or two by being yourself and by honoring the way you like to do things. You don't have to like change yourself for them. You may adapt some things in your life that will benefit you, but you don't have to change the essence of who you are. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, that's a big reading, but we're going to take it over to the extended now. So just to recap for that, in the extended reading, we are going to see, where is your person now? Where are they now? What are they up to? What's going on with them? And are they ready for this union? Are they in alignment with this union for you? They definitely want it. They're definitely manifesting it. But are they ready? Are they aligned with it? We're going to see specifically how you will meet this person, or if you've already met them, we're going to see specifically how you will ultimately end up getting together. We're going to look at relevant time frames for this relationship. And then we're going to also get messages from your partner to you. So if that sounds good to you and you would like to join me over in the extended reading, that is going to be linked down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment. However, if you are going to leave the reading here, I'll say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you would like to find me elsewhere, you can find me on Instagram. I post pick a card readings there as well. You can find me on Patreon, where we have dozens of exclusive pick a card readings plus 2 new ones every month. You can find me on my music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, you can do so on my music channel. And I have merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple that is in the intro of these videos. And we have that on hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So all of that stuff that I just said is going to be linked down below for you guys in the description and the pinned comment. Thank you very much for supporting me and for supporting the channel. I truly appreciate it. I'm sending you guys so much love. Lots of love to your wonderful partner as well, to both of your spirit guides and to your spiritual teams. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number threes, so if you guys chose the purple Fluorite heart and the purple Rider-Waite tarot deck, this is going to be a reading all about your next serious relationship. So like I mentioned in the intro, there's a lot of stuff that we're going to go over in today's reading, both here on YouTube as well as in the extended. So I've made a list so that I don't forget, but also so that you guys can see exactly what is going to be covered in this reading. So here on YouTube, we are going to look at the main traits of your future partner, which will include their personality, their appearance, and astrological placements. We're going to look at their higher self energy and their 3D self energy, their strengths and weaknesses, their career and hobbies, and then we are going to look at the energies of your relationship with them. So we're going to see your energy within this relationship, their energy within this relationship, and then the overall energy of your connection. Then over in the extended reading, we're gonna find out where your future partner is right now. What are they up to? What's going on with them? And are they ready? And are they aligned for this relationship? And then we're going to see how you will meet your future partner, or if you've already met them, we'll see how you will get together with them. And then we're going to look at relevant time frames for this relationship. And then finally get a message from your person. So that's the schedule. That is our menu for today. So without further ado, let's get into your reading. I'm actually going to put aside this deck that you guys chose for just a moment because we're going to do something that I think is pretty fun for the start of the reading. I have the Moonchild tarot deck here, but I've split it up into Major Arcana, Court cards, and Minor Arcana. And what we're gonna do to get our main look at your person's energy is take one card from each of these sections, and they will come all together to form the tableau that is your future partner. So let's get started with the Major Arcana. And I gotta be careful when I'm shuffling because when I did group number 2, one of my nails flew off and that was like not a good time. So, all right. Major Arcana for group number 3's future partner. I just heard like, you got this. And it's a message from them to you. We have Temperance. For the Court card, we have the King of Cups. And for the Minor Arcana, we have the Six of Swords. Okay, so first of all, let's look at the astrological placements that are present here. With the Temperance card, we have the sign of Sagittarius. With the King of Cups, we have water signs, so Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. And then with the Six of Swords, this is Mercury. Yes, Mercury in Aquarius. Ooh, so like your future partner could be like a Pisces sun with Mercury in Aquarius, and then maybe they have like a Sag rising or a Sag moon or something like that. Or they could be like an Aquarius with a Sag Venus or something, or like a Scorpio with a Sag Mercury. There's many different ways that we can combine these, but basically Sagittarius, water signs, and Aquarius energy is coming through right off the bat here. And this is really cool because something very similar happened in group number 1. Group number 1 got their Major Arcana here, and then they got the Queen of Cups here that was looking towards it. And what's really cool about that is that this major arcana is the card to represent their higher self, and this is the card to represent their 3D human self. So this is someone who is definitely aware of their higher self, aware of their soul, aware of their greater existence and their greater purpose, aka a spiritual person, someone who is openly and enthusiastically spiritual. And it's really cool too, because like both of these cards on their own would indicate to me a spiritual person. But because of the context of this reading of like, this is them as a human and they're like looking at their higher self, they're recognizing their higher self, that comes through even more. This person, I'm hearing that they use spiritual practices very intentionally. They use it to improve their overall health, they use it to heal, and they use it to find balance in their life. And I actually think that this is someone who studies spiritual concepts. So I'm kind of being clarified here that like, it's not just like they're into the aesthetic of spirituality, or like they're interested in it on a surface level, or like which there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, or like they're just getting into it. I feel like this is someone who is deeply interested in spiritual concepts, and more specifically how we as a human race have interacted with spirituality and like the idea of a higher power through the eras. So in addition to spirituality, this person could be interested in like religion, philosophy, history. That could be something that they study. They could have a career related to that, but I'm more so getting the feeling that it's just something they're really, really fascinated by. They might, read a lot or watch a lot of videos or documentaries about this in their free time. Because Sagittarius, this is also about like religion, philosophy, as well as higher education and wanting to expand your mind. And what's really cool, whether this person realizes it or not, is that I think the very things that they're so interested in studying reflects where their soul has been before, reflects their past lives. So like, for example, if this person is really, really fascinated by ancient Egypt, they may have had a life there. Or if they're really fascinated by ancient Greece, they may have had a life there. But I would say this person is very curious. I would say they're studious. I would say they are a bookworm. I would say they're very open-minded. I would also say they're incredibly insightful. So this is not just someone who absorbs a lot of information and like regurgitates it. They really think about what this information means and what truth they want to extract from it, and like they come to their own conclusions. Like they're incredibly intelligent in that way and incredibly insightful. I feel like this is someone that you could have amazing like deep philosophical conversations about, or those kind of deep conversations about the meaning of life. This is definitely someone who can go very, very deep. And I'm also hearing that I just heard this is someone who would like write essays for fun. But this is someone who is very good at expanding conversations. You know what I mean? So let's say you're on a first date with someone and they're like, do you have any pets? And you're like, oh, I used to have a dog when I was a kid, but not anymore. And they're just like, oh. And then she just like silence. This is someone who's very good at like building off those topics. Like, oh, you had a dog when you were a child. Like, what was their name? Like, what was your relationship like with your dog? What kind of dog was it? Are you interested in having more pets in the future? Or like, what's, stopping you from getting a pet now? Like, they're really good at deepening the topic and like building on the conversation. I was just about to say this means that there's not awkward silence in conversations, but then their guides corrected me that yes, there is silence sometimes, but it's like they're okay with those pauses. The pauses are meaningful. They're okay to sit in silence. Just because they're good at expanding on conversations, make no mistake, it is not because they're trying to fill silence. It is not because they're trying to avoid being awkward. It's because they genuinely want to dig deeper and know more about you. they are actually very fine with sitting in silence, because there is a time and place for just being quiet and just being. And this is someone who really recognizes that. I would say that this is someone who is incredible at reading the mood. They're very, I don't know if tactful is the right word, but they just understand the vibes. They just understand the mood, and they can read the person that they're talking to and know how to make them feel uncomfortable. So they could sense like, oh, okay, you know, this person is kind of uncomfortable answering the question. Let's pivot to something else. Or like, oh, this person doesn't really feel like talking right now. I'll just stop talking. I'll just be quiet, you know? I'm thinking of like, I'm thinking of an Uber driver right now. Like, you know, like I feel like in my experience, there's sometimes where I want to talk and there's sometimes where I don't want to talk, and they just get it. Okay, so with Temperance here though, about their soul, this is actually a card that indicates like a very highly evolved being, like a very wise being. So I would say that this is a very old soul that you're coming together with. And even as a human, the King of Cups indicates a very mature person. This could be indicating that they are older than you, but in general, it is just indicating someone who is very mature and someone who's very wise. I feel like this person might get told that they're an old soul a lot, and they might get told that they're wise beyond their years. And their response to that would be like, what does that mean? Like a classic philosopher. They're like, I don't even know what that means. I get told that all the time, but like, I don't get it. I kind of feel like they were quiet as a child. Maybe they had a hard time making friends when they were a child. Or they were just very selective about who they made friends with. And I think to this day, they are very selective about who they, you know, let in close to them. In terms of physical features, I would say that this person has a darker complexion. They could have wavy or curly hair. It looks like they have a very gentle face, but they could have a resting B-word face where, you know, they might just look like they're upset sometimes or look like they're mad sometimes, and they're like, I'm literally just vibing. I'm literally just chilling. I used to get that a lot when I was a kid. People would always be like, what's wrong? And I'd be like, dude, I'm just daydreaming. Like, I'm fine. But they might have that kind of pensive look on their face quite a bit. I would say that they have very like pronounced facial features, like a pronounced bone, a pronounced jawline. There could be something about their arms, because both of these people have their arms raised up as if to bring attention to them. And also the armor that this King of Cups is wearing on their upper body. They could have, for example, like muscular arms, or like a muscular upper body, or like a full chest. If this is it could be pec muscles. It could also be boobs, depending, but I feel like they kind of have a strong and sturdy like upper body. I also think that because of the long dress that we have here, even though the arms are exposed here, they could tend to wear like long sleeves and cover up more. And actually at that, I was about to say they could have tattoos on their arms. So like maybe they have to cover them up for work or something. So like they're always wearing long sleeves, but then they have like tattoos on their arms. That's not for everyone. For some of you, it might just be they have nice arms. They have muscly arms. I feel like their fashion is quite varied, and that's the first time we're seeing this. I feel like they don't really stick to one like particular color scheme. They kind of mix it up. So like sometimes they might wear bright colors, sometimes they might wear all black. And I'm hearing that this is actually just because they don't really care. So they're like, oh, I saw this at the store and it was affordable, so I got it. Or like, I saw this at the store and the person said I look good in it, so I was just like, okay, whatever. Like, I feel like they don't really care like that. And they just kind of wear whatever is comfortable or whatever is practical. It's interesting though, because both of these cards kind of have like a sheer quality to them. So it could be something about like sheer fabric or like thin fabric. Maybe this person doesn't wear a lot of layers. Maybe they get hot easily or something like that. Okay, let's talk about the Six of Swords now, because we have not talked about this yet. But it makes a lot of sense. I think that this is someone who has cultivated a lot of inner peace. They've cultivated a lot of inner peace for themselves, and it's very important to them to maintain that. The same thing with the King of Cups. Like, this is someone who has really put in the work to heal themselves and to get to know themselves. This is someone who is not afraid of their emotions. They're not afraid of saying how they feel. And they're able to do so in a way that is constructive, you know? So they acknowledge their emotions, they express them, but they do not get controlled by them, and they do not become like reactive or combative or destructive as a result of their emotions. Temperance is also very healthy, balanced. It has this feeling of moderation, of self-restraint, and also like compromise, meeting people halfway. So their emotions flow out in a healthy way, not in a way that overpowers them, and not in a way that seeks to overpower the other person. So all around a very healthy, balanced, and well-rounded individual. And the Six of Swords as well. This is like peace. Someone who's really worked to build up like a good physical and mental health for themselves. I think that this is really someone who takes good care of their body and who takes good care of their mind. It doesn't necessarily mean they were born that way. Like they may have not been born like with A+ mental health and a super fit body, but they put in the work day to day to find that health and to find that peace and that balance, and that is what really matters. And the Six of Swords also indicates that the two of you will have amazing communication. We have spoken about your ability to have like amazing deep conversations, but this also means that you are able to talk things out peacefully together. And actually with Temperance here, I feel like this is someone who they've seen a lot in their lifetime. No matter what their age is, I think they've experienced a lot more than the average person who has been on the planet for the same number of years as them. And I think particularly they have lived in many different places, so they could have moved around a lot as a child, or they could be a child of immigrant parents, or they could be an immigrant themselves. So they've kind of grown up like with many different cultures around them, or many different worldviews around them, different belief systems. And so it's not like they've grown up in an environment where like one truth or one way of seeing things is being fed to them. It's like they've always grown up around this kind of diversity. So like if they meet someone who's different from them or who has an opposing view to them, they're like, oh, well, they come from this culture and they see things that way, or, you know, they have these beliefs and that's very important to them, and I respect that. So like it's like they will always value any values, any beliefs, any like different way of seeing things that you have, and they're able to like detach from like the need to be right and just like talk things out. And I love that. I feel like there was another group that had this message. And actually, healthy communication does tend to come up a lot as a trait when I'm doing these like soulmate and next relationship readings. And I love that for you guys. I love that for all of us. Like, we're manifesting these beautiful partnerships. So let me drink some tea. And also, I'll just apologize or let you know in advance. I might be taking a lot of tea breaks during this reading because I woke up with like a weird feeling in my throat. So yeah. So let's get into the deck that you guys chose now, the purple tarot deck. And we're gonna get even more details about your person. Here we're gonna see about their career and hobbies. Okay, that came out very fast. We have the Four of Swords. and the Four of Cups. For their strengths and weaknesses, we have the Page of Cups, and the Five of Pentacles. And then, oh, I keep doing this, but you know what? I think if I keep shuffling the deck, it's because I meant to, but I had an intention for this reading to show the bottom of the deck card as the final card. Maybe she just needed to be shuffled a couple more times, but this bottom of the deck card is going to be just literally anything that your partner wants you to know about them. And we have the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. And yeah, again, I feel like this person is extremely mature, because we have a king and a queen here. I think that your person is extremely, they will bring a lot of stability and security to your life, and they're extremely laid back, easygoing. It's very relaxing to be in their presence, and I will get to that in a second. And they really just want to take care of you, and they really just want to provide for you. And I think this is them saying that they have a lot of respect for you, and they want to build something really like long-term and serious with you. They want you to know that they're committed and that they'll stick with you through the good and bad, through the thick and thin. They will always be here for you. They also want you to know that, and it's funny, this is not necessarily about them, but they want you to know that you deserve the world. They want you to know that you deserve the best that this world has to offer. So, I want to talk about this Four of Swords, because there's many different ways that I can interpret this. Because this is the card to talk about your future partner's career. So what this tells me is that either they are not currently working, or they're not working very much. And I actually think there's two different interpretations coming through. But a feeling that I got was that they might have become very successful and like made a lot of money. Like they might have, I just heard like royalties, like they get royalties for something, or maybe they like made a business, made a company and sold it, or like they sold a patent. And I feel like that's the second time patent is coming up in this video. Or they invested really smartly before something blew up. I feel like they did something that got them a lot of money, and so now they're able to not work as much, or at this time they might not even be working at all. And if they are working, it's probably just for enjoyment and not because they need the money. And it's kind of funny that the Four of Cups is like right next to this when it comes to their hobbies and what they like to do, because this could indicate that this person is a little bit bored right now. So if they're not working, or they're not working a lot, that would kind of make sense. With the Four of Cups here, I feel like at the time you get with this person, they're sort of looking for a new hobby or looking for something new to do. Or they could even be thinking of like a new business to start. It's like they're trying to find something to do, but they don't just want to do anything like just to make money, because that doesn't motivate them, and honestly, they don't really need it. They're very like set, you know, anything that they need, they can provide for themselves. So it's like they want to look for a new long-term project, but they want to do something that is meaningful. They want to do something that that gives back, or something that's like emotionally fulfilling for them, but they haven't really found it yet. So it kind of looks like they're just chilling. That is the vibe that I'm getting. Now, what I could say with the Four of Swords here is that it does kind of give me the feeling of relaxation. So they could have a career that is associated with relaxation. For example, like a masseuse, the person who does massages, or something like that, or like ASMR. I'm sure there's a lot that I'm not thinking of right now, but some type of career that has to do with relaxing people. They could be a musician that makes very soothing music, or they could sorry, that was my doorbell. But yeah, that could be either like a type of work that they've done, or that they are doing, or that they would be very good at. Even if it's like they made a business, I feel like it would be with the purpose of like bringing calm to people or bringing peace to people or something of that nature. We have seen earlier in the reading that their hobbies could have to do with like studying, with learning new things, especially with relation to like spirituality and history and just human nature in general. But I feel like with the Four of Cups here, they're looking to discover something new. They're looking to try something new, like find a new hobby or learn a new skill. But at this time, or at the time that you will be with them, it looks like they haven't found that yet. So moving on, for their strengths, we have the Page of Cups. And actually the first thing that came to my mind with this is that they're very good with children because I'm thinking of the Page of Cups as a child. This could be someone who wants children or who has children, because we have them as the King of Cups, and so the page would be like their child. It could also be that they are very good with animals, or they're very compassionate. I also think that this is someone who, like we spoke about, is very good at reading people, and they're also very good at meeting people where they're at and matching people's energy. Which means that they're very good at understanding others and very good at making themselves understood. I feel like this person is just great with people. They're really good at like engaging with others, getting to know others, because they're just genuinely very interested in people and genuinely very compassionate. And yeah, so meeting people at their level, it's like, you know, for example, this person seems to be quite spiritual. They could have gone through an awakening. So this is not the type of person who's going to be like, oh, I'm so frustrated that like these people are just like sheep and they're not enlightened and blah, blah, blah. Like, they're not like that. They're like, you know, everyone's going to find their inner truth when they're ready. Everyone's going to awaken when they're ready. They don't have this thought of like, I'm better than you, or this person is better than that person. Like, we're all different and we're all on the journey we're meant to be on. And so when I come into contact with you, I respect where you're at in your journey and I meet you there. Whether you're like, and even if you are more awakened than me and if you know more than me, I will try to meet you at your level. I'll try to like integrate with you, I think is the way of putting it. Also with the Page of Cups here, I feel like this person has a beautiful singing voice, or there's something creative that they're very good at. They have a beautiful voice. They could be very good at drawing, or like very good at painting, or very good at writing. There's some creative thing that they're very good at, but I get the feeling because it's a page, they haven't really explored like what they can do with it. Like, it's just a hobby, and honestly, that's fine. They are good enough that they could do it professionally, but they certainly don't have to. But maybe that's something that Spirit's trying to bring to their attention with this repeating cup. Like, even if it's not doing it for money, like, you could maybe explore this talent a little bit more. That could bring you a lot of happiness. When it comes to their weakness, we have the Five of Pentacles here. So sensitivity to temperature is coming up again. Like, there was a message before of like, they get hot easily. For some of you, this person could get cold easily. But I think that this is actually speaking about them having a detachment from material possessions. which sounds like a good thing, but it could be something that has gotten them in kind of like financial trouble at times, because the Five of Pentacles does talk about like lack, financial lack. And you know, we've seen that this person, like, they're doing fine and they're not concerned with money, but maybe there's like a little warning that could be something that harms them in the future. I understand the concept of like, oh, I'm a spiritual being, so I don't care about worldly possessions and like I don't care about money. But there could be a little bit of practicality that is lacking there. Like, I'm still a human, and as long as I'm living in this physical plane, like, I have to care about physical stuff a little bit, you know? Like, I gotta care a little bit. I have to make sure that I have my steady income. I have to make sure that I have my savings. And I'm kind of wondering, because sometimes the Five of Pentacles actually comes through as a lack mentality. I wonder if this is someone who at one point has experienced a lack mentality, and so the pendulum has like swung the other way now, where they're like, I know how stressful it is to have a lack mentality, so I'm just not going to care about material things at all. So it could kind of be something where they're like avoiding a painful mentality. You know, like, oh, I'm not going to check my bank account at all because I don't care. But actually, it's like, I'm not going to check it because I'm afraid of what I will see kind of thing. So they have this struggle within them where it's like they care too much about material things, and then they don't care enough, and then like they're holding on to money a lot, and then they're spending it a lot. It kind of seems like they have a tough relationship with money, which maybe comes from their childhood, or I don't know, but it's something like that. And you know, everybody has their, is Achilles heel the word? Where like, you know, we're super evolved and we're super balanced and we're super healthy, and then there's that like one thing that we struggle with. And I think for this person, it's like money and material things. And I think for them, like making peace with the fact that like I'm human and it's okay for me to care about money, and it's okay for me to want money, and it's okay for me to want nice things. I feel like that would really help them, because usually, you know, these pendulums that we have in our mentality, I think it stems from like deprivation and then having to like make up for it. It's the same way, like if you starve yourself of food, then your body is gonna want to like eat like crazy after that, because it goes into this mode of like, I need to eat as much food as possible so that I, you know, what is it called? Like starvation mode. And I feel like they might be kind of doing this with material things, where they're like, oh, I'm spiritual, so I don't need to care about this. And then they kind of deprive themselves of like worldly pleasures. But then the pendulum swings the other way, and then they might make a lot of impulse purchases, or they might like spend a lot of money on something. And so I think they need to find that balance where they're like, it's okay for me to want nice things, and it's okay for me to want money, but at the same time, I should be smart about it. So yeah, there's kind of like a tricky relationship there, that hopefully they're in the process of healing. But yeah, this is what I see for their weakness. But I also do see that they want to provide you with abundance of all kinds, and deep down they do want to experience abundance of all kinds. And I see that this person is very, very loyal towards you and will make you feel very secure. No matter what the material situation is, you will feel so secure in your heart and soul when you are with this person. So this concludes what I see about their overall energy. I'm going to keep, oh my gosh, look, we have the Six of, I just like picked up the Queen of Pentacles, and we have the Six of Swords underneath. So there's really like an emphasis on a peaceful energy from this person and really lovely communication with them. So I'm gonna leave these off to the side in case we want to revisit them. And I'm also gonna drink tea. But for this next part of the reading, I just saw 36 by the way. For this next part of the reading, it's going to be all oracle cards, and we are going to look at the energy of your relationship together. So this card is going to go in the middle, which represents the overall energy of your connection. And then we're going to do this in a person A, person B style with the rest of the oracle cards. Because we have just talked at length about what your future partner is like, I should be able to determine like which side is them, and then of course which side is you, but we will see as the cards come out. So for the card in the middle of your overall energy, we have the number 11, which is funny because I just saw a repeating number, 36, and then we have repeating ones here. Repeating numbers could be a sign that your future partner is close, that your future partner is thinking about you. We have look to your inner strength. You are stronger than you realize. This is also interesting because in some tarot decks, the strength card is number 11. So Leo energy could be significant as well. And then on one side, we have the hyena. We have intuition, knowing, extrasensory perception. Scorpio, the enigma, intense, strategic, secretive, sexual, enticing, extreme, powerful, passionate, manipulative, competitive, possessive, ruler of the 8th house. And we have manifest your soulmate. Light a pink candle while you visualize your soulmate. Prayers and wishes are very important for you now. This card also indicates that your manifestation will come into your reality soon. Okay, and on the other side, we have the deer. We have pleasure, enjoyment, sensuality, and physicality. 8th house, so that's a match with transformation. Birth, death, rebirth, sex, mystery, investments, afterlife, shared resources, inheritance, secrets, joint ventures, and legacy. And then we have one more try. Give your relationship another chance. This card is a sign that a connection is not over and that both parties still have a path to go together. It is worth fighting for this love. So for some of you guys, this person could be someone that you've already been involved with. Maybe you're in a separation with them. Maybe you did like get together at one point. Because this one more try message is very, very specific. If that is not the case for you, we could interpret this a little bit more broadly and say that maybe one or both of you had kind of like given up on love as a general concept, or like the idea of finding a soulmate. I think that both of you are trying to manifest each other right now. And this is obviously confirming that this is a soulmate of yours. But there is a feeling of like, maybe hope was lost at one point and your guides are coming through to say, like, just give this another try. There is a chance to find love again, or there is a chance to get back together with this person if you are resonating with this being like an ex or someone that you've been in separation with. Definitely doesn't have to be, because I know some people don't like to hear that kind of message, like an ex is coming back. So please disregard this unless you are trying to manifest someone from your past back. But I also want to take a moment to acknowledge the fact that we have double Scorpio and double 8th house energy here. This could be an indication that you and your future partner have the same zodiac sign. I actually just heard for some of you, your birthdays are very close together. And we do have a number 11 here. So like, they could be a November Scorpio, or like you could both be. We had Sagittarius energy earlier in the reading with Temperance. So maybe it's something like you're both born in November, but like one of you is a Scorpio, one of you is a Sagittarius. Or the same could be said for any month, like you're both born in July, but one of you is a Cancer and one of you is a Leo. But it seems like you have some astrological placements that are like the same or very close together. But the meaning of Scorpio and 8th house energy, as these cards say, it's deeply transformative. It's very passionate. It's very intimate. I feel like this is someone whom you know them better than anyone else does, and they know you better than anyone else does, or you will once you meet them. You know each other very, very deeply. You have seen each other's good sides. You have seen each other's bad sides, because you've seen each other on your best days and worst days, and you've kind of seen some ugly parts of each other. Scorpio is kind of that darkness, that shadow. Scorpio definitely does not shy away from plunging into those depths. So it's kind of like you've seen each other's deepest insecurities, or you've seen each other's demons. I'm speaking as if you already know each other, so maybe for many of you, you do, but this will be the type of intimacy that you experience with this partner. So it's like, be ready to just be like burst wide open, and for someone to really stare into the depths of your soul. It does look like there's a lot of you guys, I feel like, have been with this person before, because I'm also thinking of like joint ventures, shared resources, and you know, when you have a lot of shared possessions or like joint things in your life, that can make a separation hard, or that can make a separation messy. This is obviously a specific message, so please feel free to disregard me if this is a new person, but I wanted to mention that. This can also indicate like a very strong sexual attraction towards each other that is almost inexplicable. It's almost magical. And I think that that probably would stem from your spiritual connection. Just my gut feeling, I kind of think that this is your person. It's hard to tell. Maybe both of your energies are very, very similar, but that's just what my gut feeling was telling me, that like this is the energy of your person. Because there was actually another message that was coming up about them when I looked at this hyena card. Looking at the moon on here, there's like a dark side of the moon and a light side of the moon. I think that that kind of speaks to your person's ability and desire to see both sides of a situation and take a balanced approach and have kind of a balanced view on things. They want to allow for multiple truths to exist at once. Kind of a tendency, a pattern that I'm starting to see with your person, and you might resonate with this as well, is they're very invested in their spiritual pursuits, but in doing so, sometimes they could like throw away their ego or like throw away their 3D self. They might kind of subscribe to that version of spirituality that's like, ego is bad, no ego, which I understand, because a lot of the time in spiritual discourse, even in readings, even in my readings, we talk about like, oh, that's just your ego, as if to like disregard it. But everyone has an ego. All humans have an ego. If you did not have an ego, you wouldn't be able to like function. Your ego protects you. Your ego is an interface for you to interact with the world with. If you lose your ego, you lose your sense of self. And what was I going to say? I think that there's a lot of times where our ego can be positive for us. You know, when someone is like walking all over us and we step out and be like, hey, screw you, like get angry, that's our ego stepping in to protect us. Of course, we don't want to let it get out of hand. And I think that is an issue that we have in the world, is that there's way too much ego. But it's all about bringing it back into balance. And again, there's that like that pendulum again. And I feel like that's just what we do as a collective on Earth. When something swings too far one way, our gut reaction is to like swing really far the other way, when in reality we want to find the middle ground. So like, there's too much ego in the world. Okay, then ego is bad and we must be completely spiritual. No, we should have a balance of both. Or like, there's the masculine energy in the world. The patriarchy is overpowering us. So like men are terrible and masculinity is terrible. That's also something that happened in the discourse of our society. And no, like, no, we're looking for that middle ground. And it's ironic because I feel like in their pursuit of finding this spiritual balance, they've kind of like lost a balance. And this could be your energy as well. They're like, you know, I want to take a balanced approach on everything. I want to take a middle approach on everything and just see all sides of the story and see all truths. But that kind of goes against your ego, because your ego does want to stand for something. Your ego does want to have an opinion. Your ego does want to say like, this is right and this is wrong. And we should acknowledge that ego sometimes. Like, we have to. Otherwise, you're suppressing a part of your human brain. You're suppressing a part of your human feelings. Like, and I can even use myself as an example here. Like, I see a lot of bullshit on the internet. I think a lot of us do. Whether it's like, actually, I don't see a lot of that on my channel, which thank you guys. And it's also probably because I don't go digging deep into the depths of the comments. But I see a lot of stuff elsewhere, like YouTube comment sections, Instagram comments, people posting on Twitter and TikTok with sharing their opinions. And there is that part of me that's like, oh, I'm so spiritual, like that's their truth and that's fine. Which, that is also ego, by the way, I think, being like, I'm above this. But there's also a part of me that wants to be like, no, that's dumb. Like, that's dumb. And I feel upset by that. And that hurt my feelings. And that triggered me. And I should allow that part of me to exist as well. It's like, there's something in one or both of you that wants to like run away from that aspect of ego or that aspect of being human and just be like, everything is peaceful. Everything is fine. I'm unbothered. I'm not attached. But it's not really sustainable to live that way. And that's when these pendulum things happen, when we try to ignore a facet of ourselves, when we deprive a certain facet of ourselves of being expressed. That's when these like intense pendulums start to happen. So, you know, you can be a deep, awakened, enlightened being, but also allow yourself to be petty and to make fun of people and to get upset and to be annoyed and to think that someone's wrong. Like, that's okay. I feel like I'm maybe talking to both of you right now. I feel like this is just all both of you. But yeah, that's also like, I kind of felt that from the hyena. I think the traditional interpretation of this hyena card is like someone who uses humor to kind of make light of situations. I learned that from ASO. But I'm kind of interpreting this as like someone just acting like everything's okay. Maybe putting forward that light aspect of their self. But what we want to do here is let that shadow part of ourself come out. Well, really what we want to do is let all of ourself come out. I also want to point out the direction. The hyena is pursuing the deer, and this person is facing that way. So if this is the energy of your person, they are going to be the one to pursue you, or they are going to be the one to make the next move towards you. They're the one who's actively manifesting you. Whereas I feel like for you guys, when this person comes towards you, it's going to be at a point in your life where you're not really expecting it, because maybe you've kind of like lost hope. And so I'm interpreting this deer as like a deer in headlights. You know, it's like you've tried to manifest your soulmate, you've tried to manifest your person, and then you're like, okay, I guess it didn't work. Like, I guess love isn't in the cards for me. And you go about your life, and then Spirit's like, surprise, surprise, or your person is like, surprise, surprise, kind of sneaks up on you. So you're this deer in headlights, you're getting one more chance at love. that is kind of the vibe that I am getting with intuition here. I think that this is speaking to both of you having a very strong intuition, both of you having the ability to see very deeply into each other. This could also be indicating a trait of your person. They could have green or blue eyes, or they could just have light colored eyes. So, you know, light brown eyes or gray eyes. And also looking at this spiral of the lollipop, there could be something like hypnotizing about their gaze, or like something very mesmerizing about their gaze. I feel like their eyes are lighter in color, but very intense. Yeah. And then pleasure, you know, I think that is speaking about the sexual or sensual connection that you'll experience with each other, because this also does talk about physicality. And intuition could play into that as well. Like just being so in touch with each other that you just know what the other person is like wanting or needing or feeling in those situations. If you're not a sexual person, I often like offer this other interpretation of like creativity, enjoying creativity together, enjoying hobbies together, because like sex, creativity, hobbies, it all falls into the 5th house category. So they're all kind of in the same energy. You're expressing yourself and you're deriving pleasure from it, and then you're bonding as a result. So there's definitely a lot of pleasure to be had within this connection, and kind of on a deeper level, you know? So maybe you've always loved music. Maybe you've always found a lot of pleasure from music. But when you engage in like listening to music or making music with this person, it unlocks a whole deeper level. Same thing for physical intimacy. It unlocks this depth that you have yet to experience. So yeah, there's a lot of depth and passion here. I guess the biggest advice for you guys is to acknowledge your human side more. And even like when it comes to manifesting each other, you know, we can simultaneously have this more spiritual thought and this more ego-based thought, and it's okay for both of them to exist. So, you know, manifesting this relationship, it's okay for you to say like, Spirit will bring me this relationship when it's time. Like, I just need to be patient and go with the flow. And you understand that, but at the same time, you're like, this freaking sucks. I want to have this happen soon because I'm a human and I like things to happen quickly and I like to know what's going on. That's not, we don't need to demonize that. We can have both and acknowledge both at the same time. And so I kind of feel like that's something that both of you guys are working on. Like when I was talking about this 5 of Pentacles, and just, it seems like your energies are quite similar. Don't deprive yourself of feeling how you feel and wanting what you want, because it's just going to cause a swinging, you know, where you intensely go this way and then you intensely go that way, you know. Don't deprive yourself of saying what you want to say or feeling how you feel or eating what you want to eat or resting, you know, because you will just go too far one way and then inevitably go too far the other way. So yeah, it's all about balance, really. But I think that these are all the messages that I have for you guys. So we are going to move it over to the extended reading now. So there we are going to see, where is your person now? What are they up to? What's going on with them? Are they aligned and ready for this union with you? How you will meet them if you haven't met them yet, and how you will ultimately get together. Relevant specific time frames for this relationship, and then finally a message from your person. So if that sounds good to you and you would like to join me over in the extended reading, that is going to be linked down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment. But if you're going to leave the reading here, I'll say thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And you can, if you enjoy my content and you want to find me elsewhere, you can find me on Instagram. I post pick a card readings there as well. You can find me on Patreon, where we have dozens of exclusive pick a card readings plus 2 new ones every month. And you guys get to choose the topics for those. You can find me on my music channel. The song that you guys heard at the beginning of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in hearing the full version of that song or any of my other ones, you can do so over on the music channel. And finally, I have merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple that's at the start of these videos, and we have that on hoodies, sweatshirts, tote bags, and mugs. So all of that stuff that I just mentioned is going to be linked down below in the description and the pinned comment. Thank you very much for supporting me and for supporting my channel. It really means a lot to me, and I am sending so much love to you, to your future partner, and to both of your spirit guides and your spiritual teams. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number 4s, so if you guys chose the Aventurine Heart and the Muse Tarot deck, this is going to be a reading all about your next serious relationship. So, like I mentioned in the intro of this video, we have a lot of stuff to look at today. So I've made a list of sort of like the table of contents of both this reading here on YouTube as well as the extended, mostly so that I don't forget anything, but also so that you guys can get a feel for what we're gonna be doing over here today. So, yeah. Wait a minute. Okay. I had put the notebook to another page, but here's the list. This is the list. So, over here on the YouTube reading, we are going to be looking at the main traits of your future partner. So their personality, their appearance, their astrological placements. We're going to look at the main energy of their higher self as well as their 3D self, their strengths and weaknesses, their career and hobbies, and also take a look at the energies of your relationship with them. So that will be split into your energy within the relationship, their energy within the relationship, and just the energy of your overall connection together. And then over in the extended, we're gonna see where is your future partner now? What's going on with them? Where are they at? And are they ready for this union, to have this relationship with you? We're also going to see how specifically you will meet them. If you've already met them, we're also going to see how you will ultimately get together. We're going to look at relevant timeframes for this relationship, and then finally get some messages from your future partner. So that is all. Without further ado, let's start your reading. So I'm going to put this deck that you guys chose aside for just a second, because our first deck of the day is the Moonchild Tarot, and I've split this up into 3 groups, which consists of Major Arcana, Court cards, and Minor Arcana. I just saw 222, by the way. We're gonna get one from each of these piles, and then that's sort of going to paint the picture of your person's overall energy. So starting off with the Major Arcana, this card is sort of going to represent their higher self, their soul. Woo! That almost fell into the flame. And we have the Emperor. So judging from the fact that this is the Emperor, and also judging from the fact that that went straight for the candle, it is very likely that your future partner has fire sign placements, especially Aries. Fire dominant or Aries dominant. Okay, and the cards are coming out quickly, and us Aries love to do things quickly. We have the Knight of Pentacles. And those two people look very similar. And then for your Minor Arcana, we have the 8 of Swords. Okay, so we mentioned the Aries energy with the Knight of Pentacles here. We also, is this me? It's Aries, Earth sign, and Gemini. And like, those are literally my big 3. Anyway, comment down below if you're interested. I'm just kidding. So, yeah, in addition to fire sign placements or Aries, we have Earth sign, which is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and then we have Gemini energy here with the 8 of Swords. More specifically, this would be Jupiter in Gemini, so that is, you know, a little bit more specific. If you do feel called, I don't know them off the top of my head, but if you do feel called to look up the years of Jupiter in Gemini, that could give you an idea of how old this person might be. But we do have the numbers 4 and 8 here as well, which could be representing an age gap, like 4 years difference, 8 years difference. It could also be indicating life path 4 or life path 8 for this person. These could also be your placements, and this is just confirming like, yes, this is your group. But let's talk about these two cards. This is really cool because we have this card demonstrating, that's not the right word, representing their higher self, and we have this card representing their 3D human self. And 3 out of the 4 groups of this reading have the 3D self looking at the higher self. And this is so beautiful. And I love this for you guys because this means that the partners you are manifesting are very like aware of who they are on a soul level. Whether they are spiritual or not, they are connected to their higher self, and they are very much on the path towards embodying their highest self. So like they're committed to growth, they're committed to self-development, they're committed to gaining more self-awareness, they're committed to aligning with their purpose. This is something that I've seen pretty much collectively in this whole video. So like this community is clearly thriving because if you are attracting a person like this, it means that you are in this energy as well. And I just really, really love to see that. One thing that I actually do want to mention, we have this big moon behind the Knight of Pentacles. So this could be indicating that this is like a fire sign with an earth moon, for example. But anyway, I won't linger on the astrological placements for too long because I already named all of them. This person definitely has a strong masculine energy with the Emperor here. And like I mentioned, these people look very, very similar, these two guys. And, you know, I would kind of imagine that a female version of this person would look kind of like this. So we have like a fair-ish complexion, we have brown or dark hair, which looks to be long and sort of wavy. They could grow facial hair if they're a person who grows facial hair. And it looks like these two people have their hair down, and whoa, her hair is really long. I don't know if you can see, but it's like down to here. I feel like this person normally wears their hair down, but then every now and then they would like kind of sweep it back, whether that's, you know, like styling it or putting it in a ponytail or bun if they have sufficient hair to do so. And when they do that, it's like, oof, because you get to see that side profile. And I think that this person has a beautiful side profile. Like, look at this jaw, look at this brow, look at that nose, like, that is a very nice side profile. I feel like this person is tall, and I also think that they have good posture. I think that they are a fast walker. I think they have a strong handshake. They're just like, they come off as very like strong and robust type of person. And I think they have a masculine energy to them, regardless of their gender. I'm also saying, I'm also hearing that for some of you guys, your future partner is actually kind of short, but most people don't realize that. You know what I mean? Because it's like their presence is so big and they stand tall and they're so confident that I don't know what it is. They just come off as like having a big presence. So some people might be surprised when they hear their height. They're like, wait, I thought you were like 6 million. Like what? Because it's really in the personality, you know? And I think that this person makes a very good impression. They probably do really good in job interviews. I'm hearing that they're very well mannered. They would like be excellent if they're like meeting your family, because they can just be, especially if you have a conservative family, they can really be polite and like follow traditional manners. With the number 4 here, and with this card kind of having that meaning of like traditions and family, or at least the number 4 does, this person might have had quite like a traditional or conservative family, and I feel like they were disciplined quite a bit growing up. They might have gone to like boarding school is coming to mind, or like camp, you know, like summer camps where they learned stuff, I don't know, like boy, girl scouts, or like some kind of youth group or group activities. I feel like they were very active as a student. And I'm gonna say something that is kind of stereotypical, and I'm fully aware of that. But, you know, like in school, or at least in movies and stuff like that, you have the archetypes of like, oh, that person is like popular, you know, like they're the jock and they're really hot and they go to all the parties, but like they're not doing well in school. And then you have that archetype of like, oh, that's the nerd who like does really, really well and gets straight A's, and everyone copies their homework, but like they have no friends and they're not popular. You know, there's those like very generalized archetypes. And I feel like this person is kind of both. Like they were athletic, they were popular, they were like attractive, they were the party animal, but they also got good grades and all the teachers liked them. Like they had both. They were a person who could do both. And I think it kind of came naturally to them, because I feel like this is just a very strong and resilient and capable soul. If they're coming through as the emperor, like they're pretty resilient. And also another thing that is coming through, and it's at least it's 3 or even all 4 of the readings. But this idea of like soul families has been coming up quite a bit, of like, yes, this is a member of your soul family, and yes, you're going to have a serious relationship with them, but you're also meeting other members of your soul family that like you and this person are a part of. So I love this for our collective too. Like you are manifesting your soul family. And this soul takes soul family very seriously. I feel like this soul likes to incarnate with the same souls, which a lot of us do, but I think that that's like very important for this soul. They're like, these are my brothers, like this is my blood. And I feel like your souls are like bros, essentially. They are very, very close friends. I feel like you guys have been through a lot of different roles together throughout your lifetimes, and I feel like you've been through a lot of hard times together, like war, famine, all of those kinds of hard times throughout human civilization. I feel like you and this person have seen it all together, and so you're very well equipped to like stay by each other's side and conquer anything together. I'm also looking at this Knight of Pentacles holding the flag. It could be, if I interpret this very specifically, this person could be like kind of patriotic. But if I translate it more loosely, it could just be like they're very proud of their family, or they're very proud of like their heritage. So like, I don't know, like let's say this person is Italian American, and then like they're really proud of their Italian heritage, or like they're Irish and they're really proud of their Irish heritage and they speak the Irish language and stuff like that. It's like they want to carry on the traditions of their ancestors, and whether they realize that or not, I think that actually helps to connect them to their higher self, because they are connecting with, you know, all of their loved ones who came before, who are in the spirit world. And I think that this person is very, very protected. I think that they're strong, they're healthy, like their body is very healthy. They have little health complications, which is, you know, that's good to know. Yeah, very powerful, like a powerhouse. So that is what I have to say about the Emperor. With the Knight of Pentacles here, I do feel like this is someone who's very determined, and they're also very patient. This is someone who, like, they're kind of like a gentle giant, or like they're strong, but they're gentle, you know? Like they have the strength to lift a car, but they also have the tenderness to like nurse a baby bird back to health. It's kind of vibe that I'm getting from them. But yeah, I think that this person is extremely patient. They're very forgiving as well. They have a really big heart, and they have a big, I don't know what the expression is, but like they have a very big vessel that they can forgive people, and like they can tolerate a lot. And let me be clear, they are by no means a pushover, but I think that they really do give people chances and they give people the benefit of the doubt, especially when they can see, you know, like, I know, I'm getting also like Cancer vibes. Like this could be fourth house energy and like big on family, embraces tradition, embraces heritage. That's kind of Cancer-y thing as well. And like, you know, hard on the outside, but soft on the inside. That's a typical Cancerian trait as well. But what was I saying? Right, that they would give people a lot of chances and they would forgive people many times. I think it takes a lot for them to be like, I'm giving up on this connection, or like, this isn't gonna work anymore. But once they do decide to end a connection, like, that's it. So this is kind of an all or nothing person, you know? Like, if they were in a relationship or even a friendship, like, they will love you so hard and like they will do everything to make the connection work. Yeah, this is Cancer energy. But then like, once you, like, if you break that trust, or it takes a lot for them to be like, this isn't gonna work. But then once they do make that decision, like, you're out. Like, that's it. Because it's like, it takes a lot to hurt this person, but then when they do get hurt, it's really serious kind of thing. And I also wanted to say, in the same way, it might take a long time for this person to commit, but then once they do, they're committed, my friend. Like, they are in it for life. They are in it for real. So it's like slow to move, but once they do, that's it. It's locked in. Yeah, that's the kind of vibe that I get from them. I feel like this person, it's like they were taught a lot of values from their, I don't want to say same-sex parent, because it doesn't have to be, but I was thinking of like a masculine or a man who was like taught values from his father and like taught to be have a good character and stuff like that. And I think that this person could have several siblings. I don't know if they're like oldest or youngest or middle, but it doesn't matter, because I feel like the siblings would all like look out for each other. And then moving on to the Eight of Swords. This is a card that can talk about a lack of confidence. I'm not sure what this is talking about just yet, but this is also something that we've been seeing like collectively in readings, where for the most part, these people are like, you know, they're thriving, they're strong, they're confident, and then they just kind of have this one little insecurity. I don't know what it is for this person yet, but we will find out with this Eight of Swords. I actually feel called to just wait on this for a moment. And when we get more cards, we're about to dive into the deck that you guys chose. We'll see if we can figure out more about this this Eight of Swords, but there is like one little insecurity. But what's interesting is that they are not really looking at their insecurity. They're looking towards their higher self. So rather than, I think that this is saying that they focus more on like getting better. They focus more on building this confidence, because the Emperor is very confident. He's very sure of himself. I'm also noticing he has a tattoo on one arm, so that could be a trait of this person as well. I don't think this is them like running away from their insecurities. I don't get that vibe at all. I think it's more so they've made peace with it, you know? They're like, I have this insecurity, but that's okay. I still love myself, and I love my insecurity, and I'll give it love. And yeah. So they've made peace with themselves, and they're not going to wait to love themselves or wait to, keep moving on and getting better until they're like perfectly insecurity free, because these insecurities, these flaws, that's what makes us human. And you can really see that the love that they give to others, they give to themselves, because they also are very forgiving of, their friends' insecurities and things that their partners struggle with. They're not judgmental about that. So it's the same way, like if they fail, or if they're struggling, or if they're, in a bad mindset, they don't judge themselves for it. And I think that actually helps them to recover faster. Okay, so now we're getting into the Muse Tarot. If you're wondering why I'm shuffling in such a lame way, it's because my nail glue sucks right now. And over the past like week, my nail has flown off a couple times while shuffling, so I'm just being gentle. I tried out a new kind of nail glue and I will never make that mistake again. I'm gonna stick to the good stuff. Okay, so let's get into our Muse. And I really feel that this person is very healthy because in group 3, I had like a sore throat and I wasn't feeling very good. And right now I feel like totally normal. So maybe I'll make this reading really long so I can prolong that feeling. Okay. Woo! All right. So we have the Queen of Emotions, which is the Queen of Cups. Oh my God, this is so sweet. I'm pulling cards right now for their career and hobbies. And then we have the Five of Emotions, which is the Five of Cups. For their strength, we have the Three of Voices. For their what's it called? Weakness. Maybe their weakness is that they're forgetful. It's the Fool. That's so funny. Yeah, okay. And then, oh, okay, I got it. And then and I've done this every single time, but we're gonna look at the bottom of the deck to see just anything they would like you to know about them. Every time I forget that I'm doing that and I just keep shuffling, but I think I'm supposed to do that because I'm probably shuffling to get the right bottom of the deck card. So, oh, at the bottom of the deck we have the Star, and this is what they would like you to know about them. While I was shuffling for this last part, I saw 2112 as well as 2121 on the camera timer. So repeating 1s or 2s or 12s or 21s could be significant to this connection. I think that what they want you to know is that they're a really optimistic person and they have a lot of hope for the future. So when you're with them, you will always feel like your future is bright. Also, there's a couple little insecurities coming up with this person. One of them is that they're weird, or at least they would call themselves weird. You might not find them weird at all. So they might have like an interest or a passion or a hobby or a habit that they think is weird. Even though everyone likes them, sometimes they feel like an outsider. Sometimes they feel kind of like a misfit, because I'm thinking of Aquarius energy as kind of like, you know, the oddball, the eccentric person. This is Aquarius energy. This is Aquarius energy. They might feel like, oh, there's kind of a weird side of me that like I can't show to people. And probably when they show it to you, you'll be like, this is it? You think this is weird? Like, really? Like something that they're interested in, you know, maybe this is just an example, but it could be something that's kind of like a stereotype. So maybe they're a man, but they're like really into astrology. And so, you know, the stereotype says like astrology is for like basic white girls. So like, which is so dumb because it doesn't even come from white people, I don't think. But like, it's something that is totally fine and totally normal, but for whatever reason, they think it's weird. They might have grown up in an area that is very like homogenous, you know, like very one culture. So like, speaking of white people, maybe they like grew up in a very white neighborhood, but like they're not white. And so they always grew up thinking like, I'm the weird one, you know, like the lunch that I bring to school is weird, or like it's weird that I speak another language, or, you know, something like that. That's just one example. But like, I feel like everyone loves this person. So it's kind of just like a little chip on their shoulder that they have, which is honestly kind of sad the more that I talk about it. But I think for many, it's something more like hidden, you know, something that they're really interested in, like the astrology example, but it's something that makes them feel like a black sheep. And so they might be reluctant to let you know about this. And actually, going back to that Cancer energy, they may have like had a friend at one point, or had a significant other who really like made fun of them because they're just like small-minded, and it actually hurt them quite a bit. So like, using the astrology example and assuming, like, just for the example that this is like a guy, maybe they dated someone who was like, you like astrology? Like, that's so lame. Like, that's for girls. Like, you know, like just dumb stuff. And they, you know, because they have such a big heart, they're like, oh, it's fine. They're just teasing me, or like, they don't know any better. They don't really mean it. But deep down, it's kind of like chipping away at them. And so, you know, after that relationship ended, maybe they're like reluctant to open up about what they're passionate about or what they're excited about. So they just have this kind of like thing that they're hiding. But I feel like to you, it's like, you're embarrassed about that? Or like, you think that's weird? Like, you should see what I got going on over here. Not that I'm saying you're weird, unless you are okay with being called weird. You're unique. You're unique. But yeah, I think that's what they want to let you know. And I think this is also a card that makes me think of soul family, and actually more specifically star family. So you might resonate with being a star seed. It wouldn't surprise me, because judging how many times your two souls have, you know, been around the block together, I'm sure you were not always on planet Earth. Like, I'm sure you saw other places. But I feel like your star family is here. For whatever reason, you chose Earth, and they've always kind of been looking for their like deeper tribe. And that's not to say they don't love the people in their life. I'm sure actually some of their family members and some of their friends are also like part of their star family, but they're looking for you. They're looking for like their deeper tribe, the people that they can really get along with. Yeah, I just gotta, yeah. If it's relevant, it will come up again. Sometimes this happens and then I'm like, what was that? And if it's relevant, it will come up again. And actually, yeah, speaking of this with the Fool, it's so funny because I was like, maybe this person is forgetful. And then the Fool came out, which, yes, I think that this person could be kind of forgetful sometimes, which I think that they could feel insecure about, which again, I feel like is not a big deal. Like, they might meet someone for the first time and forget their name or something, you know, like things like that. And that's also probably from upbringing, because I feel like their family was really into like politeness and, you know, courtesy and stuff like that. So, you know, it's when you meet someone for the first time, you must remember their name. Like, that's very polite, or just, you know, little things like that. Yes, they are forgetful, but I feel like they kind of blow it up. You know, they're just as forgetful as a normal forgetful person, but they're like, oh man, I'm so dumb. Like, you might catch this person when they make mistakes, kind of being like, man, that was so stupid. And like, we all say that, right? But, well, I don't know, maybe we don't all say that. But it's kind of sad. And I was also thinking, like, this person might have like dyslexia, or, you know, something with like words or communicating that they feel kind of insecure about, which again, that's nothing to be insecure about. But I just feel like growing up, when you have something that makes you different, you can kind of internalize that as like, I'm weird. Yeah, something to do with like reading or speech, or like their accent or their communication or something like that. Which in everything that's coming up, it's like most people around them don't think it's a big deal, but for some reason they are kind of like hard on themselves about it. So they might have a bit of perfectionist tendencies as well. But yeah, I think that that's kind of their like weakness. But in that same way, their strength is lifting others up and motivating people. Like, when I feel like they were the kid who, I'm talking about their childhood a lot, so I feel like childhood was like especially formative for this person. I feel like they were the kid who like stood up to bullies when someone was getting bullied. They weren't afraid to do that, or, you know, like speak up for the quiet kid, you know, that kind of thing. Like, teacher, you forgot to call Timmy's name. That's such a generic kid name, but like, you know, they're always making sure everybody's taken care of. And they know what it's like to feel sad, and they know what it's like to feel different, and they don't want anyone else to feel that way, which I think is such a true sign of their good character, you know, because they don't get bitter towards the world. They're like, I'm gonna make sure that no one else ever feels like this and make the world a better place. And that's also making me think of the Strength card. So like Leo energy coming through, which maybe that's why this went into the fire. Yeah, so they're very good at cheering people up, lifting people up, supporting others, motivating others. And going to the Queen of Cups here, that's probably, they probably want to pursue a career that allows them to do that, you know? So maybe they want to be like a life coach or a motivational speaker, or maybe they want to like work with school children and help them build confidence, or maybe they want to help people be successful with their business. They need to do something where they feel like they are actively helping people and actively making them more confident. Because with the Queen of Emotions here, this is like that nurturing and loving energy, and this tells me that this person has to do something that they love for a living and has to do something that they're emotionally invested in. I feel like, you know, if this person tried to get like a little part-time job, they would probably quit very quickly, which kind of goes against their patient personality, but they're like, I can't commit to this because my heart isn't in it, you know? Like they kind of can't stick to things that their heart isn't in. So if they're sticking to you, you know that their heart is not, well, their heart is not in you, but they're invested in you. They're emotionally invested in you. Another thing I want to mention is that I cannot sit still while I'm doing this reading. Usually when I'm reading, I just kind of like sit in a position, and I move around sometimes, but I'm moving my legs around so much, and it's so uncomfortable to sit still. So this could be a trait of them as well. We've seen that they're like athletic and they have a strong body. I think that they also have a lot of physical energy, and they could kind of get pent up energy sometimes, and they have to move around, and maybe that's kind of what makes them forgetful, or it makes it kind of hard for them to focus. But then they do well in school anyway, so wow, they have a lot of strength. Oh my gosh, and also, look at this fish. That's Dory. Like, that's Dory from Finding Nemo. So yeah, I think, you know, Dory has short-term memory loss, and it runs in the family. At least she thinks it does. Yeah, so this person could have a hard time like remembering names, or remembering addresses, remembering phone numbers, remembering birthdays, little things like that. And maybe that there's a reason that they think these things are such a big deal. There must be. Like there must be someone who really gave them crap for it. You know, like he forgot someone's birthday, or like why am I saying he? I just keep looking at these men, and so I'm saying he, but I apologize because it definitely doesn't have to be a man. I hope I haven't been saying that for a long time. Or they forgot like what time they were supposed to meet up with someone, or, you know, and then someone was like really, really like came down on them hard about that. Which is making me sad because they're so forgiving of everyone, and like they have a really big heart, and you know, it happens, we all make mistakes. But then like someone, and I feel like it's a significant other or a friend, I don't think it's their family, like someone didn't give them that same like love, or didn't give them that same patience. But yeah, I think they, in their career, and I keep saying they want to, this person could be still in school, or like they're in the process of thinking of this new path. And that's also something that's come up a lot in the collective. Like a lot of these people that we're looking at are looking to pursue new paths, or like trying to figure out how to pivot. So I think that's also a collective energy. You guys might be dealing with that as well. But yeah, they need to do something where they're helping others, where they're lifting people up, because that's literally their strength. Like wiping people's tears, helping them get back up on their feet, knowing that they're worthy, that they deserve to succeed, and then, you know, helping to give them the tools to succeed, like something motivational, something that builds the community, something that touches people's hearts. You know, this person could have done a lot of like volunteer work, or that's something that they're interested in, or like community service work. And then with the 5 of emotions, the 5 of cups for their hobbies, this is a card that makes me think, and this has actually come out. Oh my God, I'm literally like moving the chair because I can't stay still. This is a card that has actually come out in this type of context in a relationship reading, but it reminds me of like water sports or ice sports, which makes sense because I think this person is like physically active and athletic. Oh my gosh, and there's like the long wavy hair again, and this is also probably long wavy hair when it's down. So they could be like, they could be into swimming, they could be into fishing, water polo, water skiing, snow skiing, ice hockey, you know, something that has to do with like water or ice fishing. That's a thing too. Snowmobiling, which is so freaking fun, by the way. Jet skiing, which I've never done. I think you guys get the picture. I think that's their hobby. So they like to be outdoors. They like to be moving their body. They could, you know, like the water, because we have water here, we have water here, we have water here. Yeah, or ice, like snowboarding, or, you know, those kind of things. So I think we have spoken about everything. So I'm literally going to stand up right now because my legs cannot be still. And I'm gonna drink water. Yeah, this energy is so different. Like, I went from group number 3 being like, my throat is sore, and now I'm like, I'm ready to do laps. Okay. So we're gonna put these cards aside because it is time for the oracle card part of the reading. With the world in reverse under here, this person could also deal with homesickness. So they could deal with homesickness, for example, if they moved when they were a child. Or they could be homesick for a place that they've never been. Like, just to go back to that Italian-American example, they could feel really homesick or like really long to go to Italy because just that's where their ancestors are calling them. All right, so let's look at our oracle cards. Yes. Oh my gosh. And there's me being forgetful again because I left them over here. But at least I get to stand up and move again. Okay, so we're using oracle cards for this part of the reading to look at the energies of your relationship with your person. This card in the middle is going to be like the overall energy between the two of you. And then for the rest of the cards, we're going to do a person A, person B kind of thing. And because we've just spoken about your future partner at length, I should be able to determine like which side of the equation is them and which side is you. However, of course, if you feel like the energies are flipped around, that is totally fine. Even if you feel like both sides, you resonate with both sides, that's totally fine as well. So let's see what we have for your central energy. And we have the number 44, which I feel like that's Aries energy again, because we have like the number 4, the Emperor, Aries. They could be an April Aries, so like born in April. Yeah, and we have get to know each other, learn to meet another's needs for love. So this person could be, and we have another man with long hair and facial hair. I think long hair is definitely a trait of this person. Right, so this person could be quite physically affectionate. We see like this mermaid has their arm around the other mermaid. They could be very cuddly. They could cuddle in their sleep. So like you start off sleeping like this, and then when you wake up, they're like snuggled up against you. And I also think that this is just kind of further indicating that they like to take things slow. And with the water here, I'm happy to see this water because there's two kinds of slow. There's the slow where things are delayed and things are held up. And then there's the slow that's like natural and leisurely. You know, I'm not rushing. And water lets me know that this is a I'm not rushing kind of slow. So it's not like they have reservations when they're getting to know you deeply. It's just they're not in any rush. They want to feel things out with this water energy. They want to feel things out. They want to take their time. Yeah, they're not in a rush. They could also be the type of person to like hand things in right before the deadline, but they always do hand them in. And that's what's so amazing about them. Like, yeah, let's say they're forgetful and like they wake up and they're like, oh my God, the paper's due tonight. And they're just like, da, 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 and they write out like 20 pages and submit it and they get like an A. Like, that's their kind of vibe, you know? So they might come off as like an airhead, but they're actually really freaking like smart. Okay, so on one side we have the tarantula. Tarantula. Na, 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 na. Okay, and then we have guidance with jellyfish, which also reminds me of Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo or like Disney. Is that Disney or Pixar or both? Anyway, those kind of movies could be significant. This says wisdom, learning, and new information. This person could have an unusual pet because it's like a creepy crawly, a blob. These are like weird creatures that don't even exist. So they could have kind of an unusual pet, like an axolotl, which are really freaking cute. Or like, I don't know, a pet. Are chinchillas unusual? I guess, because you don't meet someone every day who has a chinchilla. They could have a pet snail, you know, something like that. We have Vesta with devotion. Oh, sacred. Yeah, I feel like this is their energy. Sacred sexuality, fertility, kundalini energy, dedication, purity. Yeah, self-discipline, focused passion, diligence, inner spark, and spiritual commitment. And then we have, oh my God, this is too precious. We have building blocks. Let's build together with a happy face. With Jenga here, this person could enjoy board games. Well, this is not even a board game, but you know what I mean. Like those games that you play around the table with your family, like card games, board games, those kind of things. And I feel like you will go on very wholesome places for your date, you know those like board game cafes where you drink lattes and you play like, I don't know, like snakes and ladders and stuff like that. Or like maybe you go to, I feel like bubble tea is wholesome. It's just my impression. Yeah, I feel like you will do something wholesome like that, whatever that means to you. On the other side, we have otter. Okay, both of you guys are just very cute. We have otter. We have goals, hopes, dreams, aspirations, and ideas. We have Aries. Oh, wait, that's their energy too. Whatever. Maybe both of these are both of you. Aries with the competitor. Assertive, competitive, impulsive, loud, aggressive. Action, courageous, dominant, rebellious, dynamic, impatient, quick-tempered, and ruler of the first house. You know what I'm actually feeling for you guys? Because it doesn't matter what like placements or what elements you guys are, but you see how this tarantula is fire? So this is fire. So this tarantula is appearing like right up front as fire. This otter is water, which is like the opposite of fire. So this otter is appearing up front as the opposite, but deep down they also have fire. So I feel like if you guys know your birth chart, if there's any astrological placements that you don't like, you're like, I don't really resonate with this, or like, I don't really get this placement, I feel like this person would bring that out of you. So for example, I have a friend who has Venus in Aries, and like she doesn't get it at all, and like she also doesn't seem like a Venus in Aries to me. Like when you read up on like the type of personality, and we've tried like different interpretations, But it's like she just kind of doesn't come off like that. I'm sure that it's like something within her, but we hadn't figured out what it is. And so if you guys have any astrological placements that you don't really like resonate with, this person could kind of like bring out that trait in you. And then you're like, oh yeah, I do have this trait. I saw 4411, by the way, just when I was talking now, which I feel like 1 and 4, they're both, when they're together, they make me think of like home, safety, comfort. They also make me think of angels. You might literally feel like this person is an angel because they're so sweet, and vice versa. And I also think that this connection has a lot of angelic protection. I'm also noticing that both of these oracle cards are G words. So you guys could have names that start with the same letter, whether that's first, middle, or last name. And then, ooh, it's karma, baby. A karmic relationship. This connection serves as a catalyst to prepare you for real and high vibrational love. You are feeling very pulled to this person. Therefore, it appears to be the real thing, but it's not. Integrate the lessons that need to be learned. Okay, I get it. Let's take a look at something here. So you see these two people together, happy. This is like your higher selves, right? So your higher selves are like committed. We're like, you got me and I got you, and we're gonna come together and it's gonna be wonderful. This is, please feel free to switch these, but this is your person, I think. The tarantula is not facing towards you. They're not facing away from you. They're just facing up. So right now, I feel like they're very open, you know? They're not running away from love, but they may not necessarily be actively pursuing it. They're just open to it. Or like if you guys already know each other, they're not actively pursuing you, but they're also not running away from you. They're just open. This otter, on the other hand, is looking away from the connection and looking away from the tarantula. And I kind of wondered about that. I was like, why is the otter looking away? And now, now we see what the otter is looking at. A karmic relationship. So this could be a current energy or a past energy, but some of you guys maybe have or had a person of interest that you felt very drawn to, and your guides are letting you know that like, this isn't it. And I would even say for some of you, even if the person I have explained until now sounds like someone you know, it could be someone different. Someone who's very similar to your current person of interest, but different. Maybe without some red flags or something like that. Please take that as it resonates, but you know, this could also be your person's energy, but I feel like someone right now might be, but I don't think it's your person, because once they decide to move on, it's over, you know? I mean, they could still be with someone right now that's a karmic, but yeah, someone's focused on a karmic right now. That kind of sucks. That's a bummer energy, but that is there. But obviously this is your next serious relationship, so you are going to end up together. So I think we have nothing to worry about, and even like the competitor, you know, like the otter is looking at the competitor. So like, you know, competition for the tarantula. The otter might realize once the karmic leaves their life, they are a lot less like irritable and a lot less aggressive. Because I feel like this karmic person kind of has like an abrasive energy, and it could be spiritual, you know? It could be something spiritually or energetically that just keeps kind of like rubbing up on the otter. Little micro aggressions. I feel like both of you guys have dealt with partners or people of interest who like, it's not like they do anything overtly terrible to you, but it's like these little seeds that they plant that like add up, and it just makes you more and more agitated or like more and more on edge. I don't know if they know what they're doing. Hopefully not, because it's scary to think that people would intentionally do that, but unfortunately those people exist. But yeah, it's kind of what I see for the otter. I think the otter I think both of you guys have a hard time letting go of people you love, but I think the otter might have a bit of a harder time, because I'm thinking of otters that like hold hands when they float down the stream, and maybe like the otter is afraid to float down the stream alone. Or I'm thinking of the otters like really, really thick fur, like they're afraid to get cold, so they have to snuggle up to someone, like kind of maybe they're afraid of being alone on some level. I mean, the tarantula is hairy too, but I think that's more for sensing things than for warmth. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know much about tarantulas. But I think that the otter must be either on the verge of moving on from this karmic connection, or they're in the process of doing that, because with gulls right underneath here, the first thing that actually came to my mind was that the otter is looking away from the connection because they're so focused on their goals. So I think they're either right about to have this realization, or maybe they kind of are in the process of realizing, like, I can't focus on this anymore. Like, I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to focus on my own goals. But maybe old goals is a relevant slip, like getting back to something that was on the back burner until this person consumed all your thoughts. Yeah, I think we're getting out of that. At least we will soon. Yeah, and then with this Vesta energy for your person, again, this devotion is just showing how committed they are. With sacred sexuality, I feel like this is someone who could be very private about their relationships and very private about their intimate life. They don't really talk about their relationship so much, or like talk about what their partner said. Like they respect privacy a lot. They respect the sacredness of the relationship a lot. That's also kind of Cancer-y, you know, being private, being in your shell. And I think that they take physical relations very seriously, you know, like they're very popular, and sometimes people might mistake them for being a player. Just, I don't know, I feel like when you're like popular and when you're confident, people might make that assumption. But I think that they take those kinds of relationships very seriously, and I think they would only get involved with someone like that if they saw a future with them. I think like dedication, purity, self-discipline, focus, passion. We've talked about a lot of stuff with them, so this kind of stuff with them, so I don't want to like repeat myself too much. But again, with this like inner spark and this spiritual commitment, this really shows like what they do for a living, or what they do with their life. It has to be something that lights their spirit up. It has to be something that they can see themselves doing for a long time. You know, they really want to like devote themselves to it. So it's like they're waiting for that big purpose to find them. But I think that those are all the messages for you guys. So I'm going to end your reading here. Well, actually, I'm not ending it. I'm just taking it over to the extended. So there we're going to see, where is your person now? What are they up to? Where's their head at? Are they ready for this relationship? Are they aligned with this relationship? We're going to see how specifically you'll meet. If you've already met them, we're also going to see how specifically you will get together in the end. We will look at relevant time frames for this relationship, and then finally we will get some messages from your partner to you. So if that sounds good to you and you would like to join me over in the extended reading, that is going to be linked down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment. However, if you are going to leave the reading here, I'll say thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you would like to find me elsewhere, you can find me on Instagram. I post pick a card readings there as well. Matter of fact, I scheduled to post one tonight and I forgot, so thank you for the reminder. And you can find me on Patreon, where I have dozens of exclusive pick a card readings and 2 new ones every month, and you guys get to choose the topic for those. I have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, you can do so on my music channel. And finally, I have merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple that's at the start of these videos. And we have that on hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So all that stuff that I just mentioned is going to be linked in the description and in the pinned comment. And thank you very much for supporting me and for supporting my channel. I truly appreciate it. And I'm sending lots of love to you, to your person, to your loved ones, and your spirit guides and your ancestors, your whole spiritual team, your whole soul family, your star brethren. And I hope you have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.